Expansion.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joshua Cesan.
Yo, yo.
No handshakes, apparently.
No handshakes. Post-COVID, man.
Yeah, post-COVID. Let's not go there. Our first international guest.
What a pleasure.
No,
what a
the pleasure is all ours. My brother Joshua Cesan, just flown in from New Zealand today. Or yesterday.
No.
You've been here for a little while.
I've been here since Thursday. Yeah, Thursday.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah.
So he's been here for a few days, taking advantage, obviously, of the fact that you guys don't have to quarantine and stuff now, coming into Australia. But we got to quarantine if we go to New Zealand, don't we?
Yes. So, yeah.
Can't.
Rules are very all over the place.
But it's idiots. But, of course, I wish I could say that he came here to see me. But he came here for love.
Yes,
and
indeed.
We've got the beautiful Cody in the studio.
Yee-hee.
Hello. How you doing? You guys can see her. She's off camera. But so it's the second wifey girlfriend in the studio. No, Paulie, we had the beautiful Helen accompany Nick once.
Correct.
Anyway, very important fact, that one.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for bringing me in here with your feminine powers.
Yes.
Yes. Big round of applause for Cody. My man. So, I mean, obviously, I know you as my brother and all of that, but for everyone at home, I mean, we are talking internationally renowned. I know I'm going to fuck this up, but I'm just going to say it and then you can correct everything I say.
Yo.
Internationally renowned hip-hop / a few other dance styles in there as well. World champion status, number 1, number 2, several times, top 10, top 5. Crazy choreographer, dance teacher as well. Very much loved and respected in New Zealand. Which, again, for all of those that don't know, New Zealand's got a very proud and strong, not only arts culture, but just dancing, very, very strong.
Sports also.
Sports,
and
that's right.
how it kind of ties in.
Yeah.
Insanely competitive, pushes
very
each
competitive.
other.
Yeah, most definitely. And a country that has a very strong cultural and arts DNA compared to, say, Australia, which we're much bigger and everything, but we don't really have that kind of strength, whatever it is.
You said it.
I mean, I say it without any reservations, man, and I'm cool with it. It's just a fact, we're much more sort of sports and, and whatever else we do. We do a million things good, but one thing we don't have much of or enough of, in my opinion, is arts and culture and dancing, and that we could be a lot stronger. We're strong, but we could be a lot stronger. But yeah, my brother Joshua in the building. So I look forward to catching up and to speaking about a lot of things, because you are my brother. My father is your father.
Yes.
My mother is not your mother, but we're brothers.
Yes,
we haven't spent that much time together
No.
in our lives. We've always crossed paths at different times
Here
for
and
different
there,
things,
yeah.
here and there, yeah. And but the cool thing about shows like this is we get to talk a lot of shit and it's uninterrupted and our phones are put away and everything, so we can get
Perfect.
deep down into it, man. So welcome to La Finca, welcome to Expansion.
Totally my pleasure. It's
again, man.
so cool to see this kind of
Gracias.
happen and you create this. I
Thank
think
you,
you've got a
man.
lot to tell the world.
Thank you,
Obviously,
man.
when I come over,
Yeah,
I
we
hear a multitude of new things
Yes,
that
I
I
know,
thought
man.
I would
We
have heard
always
the first
do.
time, but you're a very
Yeah.
knowledgeable person with so much to
Yeah,
give.
I've got a good memory, I think, man. That's what it is, yeah.
Straight up.
And I'm very inquisitive. But it's true, man. We do. That's what I love about the boys yourself, Andrew. Richie, I'm ashamed to say I get to see the least. He's been the least of the cross Tasman brothers.
Yes,
crossing
we will
the
change
Tasman.
this.
Yeah,
We will
yeah,
change this.
Yeah, man, please. Hopefully after all this bullshit is over. But we do go down some pretty crazy rabbit holes. And we just did before
Absolutely.
the show.
I think it's in our genealogy, like
Most definitely, my
yeah,
brother.
everybody who we encounter, all my friends, as
Yes.
soon as they met my dad, obviously that there was
Yeah.
kind of in the party senses, they knew because
Yeah.
he was that outrageous person there. But when
Yeah.
he started to speak about things
Yeah.
and even just Cody, saying to Cody, like, oh, he's not a Cesan, is he? She was like, oh my God, generations of you guys, I think
Yeah.
it's like there would have had to been some strong force that would
Indeed.
take someone of our bloodline away from questioning the narrative. I think
Most
is probably
definitely,
one of the biggest things, and trying to define who we are and think
Most
bigger
definitely.
and
Question and challenge and,
Exactly.
and be inquisitive at the same time. And I think there's definitely a revolutionary streak, let's say, because
to say the least.
yes, because both my dad, our dad, and our grandfather, at one time or another, I'm quietly confident that they had the nickname El Loco.
Yeah.
The madman.
Yes. Yeah.
And actually, your grandfather, and I know these stories from bits and pieces, but your grandfather used to cruise around. He was a panel beater, so he used to chop up cars and whatever. So we're going back many decades now in a small town in outback Uruguay called Juan Lacase. He used to cruise around in a car which he turned convertible. I mean, you can imagine it's one of those Chevy kind of looking old things. And he used to cruise around in it convertible with an aviator hat. You know the aviator hats? Which are like, with the goggles.
I've actually only seen one. I've only seen very few photos of him and only heard things. But this fits the description of those photos.
Yeah. So,
military-esque.
Yeah. And then with one of these like aviator scarves, and he used to cruise around, like decades ago in some small town in Uruguay. You can just tell it didn't fit in. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So there's a little bit of that DNA in all of us, as we all have from our ancestors. God bless them all. And it's a beautiful thing because it makes us who we are. And as I'd rather say, as I've often said, in Spanish, I'll translate it to English, but we say, you're crazy.
Yeah.
But you're good crazy.
Yeah.
We like good crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Un loco bueno, nos gustan los locos buenos. I think, normal people, let's say, can be a bit boring sometimes, let's say.
The best people are a little bit crazy.
A little bit crazy, that. And the people, and man, the people that change the world in whatever way they chose to, whether it be for arts or politics or anything, music, they had to have a bit of craziness in them. And you've got plenty of that, my friend.
I'll take that one as a compliment.
Yeah, man. Look, I want to actually talk a little bit. So there's my sister and I from my mother. My dad, then they split up with my mum, and he then met the beautiful Jackie. And with Jackie, which is your mum, she had 3 sons.
Yes.
Richie first, then Andrew, then yourself. So you're the youngest of the second.
I'm the baby.
You're the baby. But then, of course, Dad met Megan, and with Megan, he had another 2 children, Ruby and Bruno. So there's 7 of us that we know of.
Small family.
That we know of.
Yeah.
And the funny, I'll tell you something funny. I said to a lot of people a lot of the time, like, because I got family in New Zealand. And they go to me, oh, yeah, man, I thought you looked a bit Maori. I'm like, nah, motherfucker.
Hold on.
No, motherfucker. No.
Hold on.
Stop. Take it back.
Yeah.
I go, I'm not. I go, but, I'm South American. My dad moved there. And they go, oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Like,
there's always a bit of a question mark. Whenever I meet some people, it's like, it's definitely, they can't quite put their finger on it, but they kind of want to know.
Yeah.
And like there's Russian or there's something, but there's just definitely something about
the
way
man.
way we look, or the way we kind of, I don't know, maybe the energy or something. It's always it always pulls some kind of like what the hell are you? And then I say Uruguay, and they're like, and
a lot of music in the family too. Ruby's is a incredibly gifted singer. You can check her out, Ruby. She goes on the Ruby. No, her artist name's Ruby.
Yeah, I think it's
Ruby.
Ruby music. I can't remember her Instagram handle, but if you search Ruby Cesan, I'm pretty sure. We should probably look at that. I really
We can solve that problem in 10 seconds flat, my friend.
Probably should be. I'm
a little embarrassed. Yeah, ruby.music. Check her out. You're the man, Pounds. You got that right. Ruby.music, and of course Ruby Cesan as well. Amazing singer.
Incredible.
Made the mistake of bringing her to the club. I didn't bring her, but Dad and Megan brought her to the club a couple of years ago when she was in town. And I spent most of the night swatting the fucking boys away.
Oh, yeah. She's beautiful.
Actually,
girl.
I didn't have to do much. The boys just went around telling everyone, that's Rafa's sister. And they were like,
that'll do it. Heads up.
Everyone backed off. That was cool. But it's the ones inside the circle you got to watch.
Straight up.
I was bullshitting.
Did they pay entry to get in the club?
I don't know, brother. If anyone made them pay entry, it was you, you fucking Nazi. Don't forget, hey, I've got footage on you. I've got footage on you chewing people's heads off. We've got behind the scenes footage of Paul Balkaman at his worst. At his best, which is his worst at the same time. Yeah, that's right. Go back to your fucking corner.
I'm putting on automatic flight mode now. I'm leaving.
Good on you, champ. Hey, but no, so look, obviously New Zealand, born and bred in New Zealand.
Yeah, very much Kiwi.
Sure,
yeah.
Auckland.
Yeah,
sure.
Born in Tauranga, down the line about 3 hours.
Yep.
Don't really remember much of that.
Yeah.
I left when I was about 2 years old.
I remember that place.
So the farm, I can see glimpses of it. I can see some kind of almost like baby glimpses of it.
Lots of avocado trees.
Yeah, beautiful place. I wish I remembered more of it, but now it's very much a city boy, Auckland raised, super Kiwi, you know.
Yeah.
Lots of interesting heritage, but not as much connection and knowledge.
That's
I'm only in my last 7 to 5 years am I really learning a lot about it. You know, me and Dad have been spending ever since I left school, me and Dad spent even more time you know, together, and that's kind of me learning a lot more about my non-Kiwi heritage, you
great
know?
man
So,
great.
Yeah,
I think it's a natural progression. When you reach adulthood, you kind of want to find out a little bit more.
It definitely something kind of was coming out of me, and I always knew I was some very interesting kind of like my story. I knew glimpses of it, but as a kid, you know, you're just so occupied with blah 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 blah. You don't really care, especially through high school. And then as soon as I left, as soon as I started talking to Dad more, I realized there wasn't the whole story, and then it was kind of, you know, drip fed, and so it's
fill in the blanks.
And that's why it's always nice to come out here, because I feel like we just naturally chat for hours, especially when Andrew comes too. There's another bloody chatterbox to add to the thing, and then there's knowledge in those conversations.
Andrew's another gifted motherfucker. No disrespect to Jackie. That's just a throwaway hip hop term before people start writing emails. Nah, I've dropped the M-bomb a few times, and motherfucker, and people get a bit upset. But
really?
It's the intention.
Oh shit!
I love all my people, man. No. But what I was gonna say is, Andrew, of course, another super talented dancer, but also now we're making music together. A couple of cool things coming your way. A few people already know about it. But the bigger influence definitely is Mama Jackie. Because of course you're sort of your defined or your career, and which is more than just a career, because it's more than just making money. Obviously it's not just a job, you're a dancer. You're a dancer. You're a professional, full-blown dancer, both teacher and performer, and you have been for a very long time. And Mama Jackie, that you got it from her, right? Because she was a dancer herself. Yeah,
very much. She
so tell us a bit about her, because she was professional as well, right?
Yes, it's funny actually. Both mum and dad are quite the same. They drip feed stuff about the past here and there, and I remember I think I might have been like close to my last year of school, or she was taking me somewhere. Yeah. And she was like, oh yeah, when I was my first marriage, I was married to an American artist, and I was like, what? Really? Like, I've never heard about that.
I didn't know that either.
I've never. Yeah, she's like, yeah.
Dark horse.
I'm like, what? Nah, and they're both.
She probably can't remember much either, though.
Yeah, no, we've all got amazing memories.
Oh, really?
She's like it's like a closed book, but she kind of does open when you question. But from what Mum has told me, she started ballet when she was 5. Yeah. She grew up in a very small Kiwi town, and she did dance, and she always had a knack for it, and she kind of did it through, and she found herself kind of in, I think, as a teacher, and I'm pretty sure in Sydney she had her own kind of like little.
That's where her and Dad met
or something. Yeah. But see, I don't know the extent of what exactly she was doing, if she was majority teaching or if she was doing more, I don't know, like open classes or whatever. But I knew she always had a knack and a passion for dance, and that very much was instilled into all of us boys. Me, Andrew, and Richie.
Man, we were literally all 3 of you guys are like amazing dancers, and even like obviously you're world renowned for hip hop and all the urban kind of stuff, let's say. But then you
careful about those terms, guys. Careful.
Yeah, that's why I'm being very cautious. I said you can correct me all you want, man. Because feel free.
I stand on the place that everything is influence, and a lot of people can be. I think there's a lot of virtue signaling and all of these people trying to say that this is this, but
pigeonhole.
Yeah, but all these art forms have developed from all these influences, and the words do have a lot of meaning behind what exactly it is. But I think that it's all passed down, and the terms can be quite loosely fitted. But we very much have been influenced by hip hop culture.
No doubt about it.
The dancing, the studio dancing very much isn't exactly what I think hip hop is. And hip hop came from like a freestyle kind of, it came from the streets. It was very much a raw art form, but we kind of found ourselves in that 2000s era of when studio and choreography was so big in music videos that it was really breaking into the studios. And that's kind of what were. Yeah, all of those eras, like even the Missy Elliott videos and all of that, like that just put this huge thing on hip hop choreography, which a lot of people debate about it anyway. But yeah, that was the thing that really captivated us. Mum got, all of us were in studios from, I think I started tap dancing when I was 4 years old. I did ballet and I did jazz and contemporary.
And that's what I wanted to refer to, because even though you're renowned as a hip hop dancer, you guys through Jackie started very young. Tapping and doing all these other genres, which of course then also feed into what you end up becoming, and they make you a more rounded, more everything.
It gives you everything, like tap dancing resonated with us. Obviously the story is that like we were put into these studios and dancing was seen as, you're I'm going to put the fingers up and not offend anybody, but you're gay if you do this. But it was more, it wasn't anything to do with being homosexual. I guess it's more to do with the bullying aspect.
Feminine.
And we were being told this, and our studios were predominantly female based. So we were kind of just the one boy kind of just scratching the surface of maybe you should do this instead. We were wearing naff costumes. So mum saw that was happening and saw that male dance was declining in New Zealand. And she created a program. She pulled us out of those studios because we didn't want to be there anymore. We didn't want to dance, and that was breaking her heart. And she started a program called Boys Dance 2 in 1998, which is still going to this day, which is insane. And actually, like I can say, not even exaggerating, has had a massive impact on male New Zealand dance, especially Auckland New Zealand dance. Like a lot of those boys that were in the first squad. Simon Watts, very close family friend. Shout out to Simon. He was doing tour with Stomp, and now he's creating his own like live installations using his rhythm that he's learned from all his training within tap and dance. And Joseph O'Sullivan, shout out to you, was doing musicals all around the world. Andrew, who's done tap in Europe and is now producing. He's a multiple world time finalist and champion. Like there was this hub of boys in that group that she realized that there needed to be more boys there, just for us to feel like men and what we're doing have a masculine touch to what we're doing. But she also got amazing male tutors like Matt Gibbon, who I remember the first time I watched that dude, he was like doing glides and all these hip hop moves, and that's when I was looking, I was like, oh my god, this is what dance is meant to be. And that program really was the first thing that made us be like, we weren't forced to go to class anymore. Because I remember, so I was 5 when Boys Dance was started, and it just caught on because it was so much of a thing. Boys dancing was just actually a thing, because they look at it and you'll be like, oh, you're this. And then when they saw us actually like all our masculine energy being together with male teachers, we got to do all these awesome performances. Mum started a huge wave of influence on male dance, and that then all these females actually started to reach out and said, this is unfair, you guys are doing cool stuff. We want to be a part of it. And then that's when her company, the Dance Studio, was created in 1999. It only took a year for it to really take off. So the Dance Studio was really where we grew up as dancers, and then went on to learn out as teachers. I started teaching there when I was 15 years old, and that's very
it's pretty young, man.
It's and Andrew was an ace from 12. He was choreographing. He was always just being that superstar kind of from day dot. But that's kind of the thing that Mum had really she instilled in us, was that boys, they dance too,
Sure.
and we have our own energy to bring to the platform. And we just kind of continued through there. And the dance studio, we have a lot to thank for. My mum's energy and time, hard work. She's helped me create Identity, my dance company, or once was a crew into a company.
Sure.
She very much
Identity dance crew, right?
Yes, yeah. Or company these days, but that was the lineage, and she helped us. She got us out of just renting studios, and now we're kind of fully working out of her brand new studio with Momentum, Andrew's company as well.
Which just is a new thing, right? Only happened a couple of weeks ago, a few weeks ago.
Yeah, beautiful space. The dance studio was in a kind of smaller place, operating so well in this kind of small,
for a long time,
space, but doing so well. But now it's really got the space it deserves, man.
Sure.
So now kind of this year's been a special year for all of our kind of our dance companies, or kind of things to kind of come together in this really cool way.
And who would have thought,
shout out to my mum,
out of all years this year, it's supposed to be such a bad thing, but so many good things are happening.
Oh man, like
reinventing and
exactly, it's the year of
refreshing
change
and renewing, and
that's how you look at it, man.
You got to take advantage of it, no doubt about it.
Exactly. And there's been so much effort over the years within dance, and then sport. You focus so much on the external, like we got to go do this, and for years we've had great success at the World Championships in America, and I met my lovely girlfriend at a competition in Mexico. Like there was another event we did, and loved all of them. But we always wanted to do our own proper shows and really do it well. But it took this year to literally say, because like we're good at it, So we'd invest so much into it. And last year we came away with a gold and a bronze. Like we were getting such success that like we'd pour so much more effort into it to stick to our fame, reputation,
reputation,
but then the second half of the year, because we've invested so much energy into that, all the projects we wanted, so this year was like, oh fuck this year, blah 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 blah, and then we finally got to
listen. Can you not fucking swear on my show, please? How dare this guy? Huh?
Oh, I don't know if I can promise anything, but we actually just finished a show where we really took things to another platform. We added a lot of contemporary elements to it, and because we've been asked to do some, like we got asked a few years to go present in Scotland and Edinburgh Festival, but we had no actual like theatre or identity itself. I've been in awesome theatre shows out of the box, and kudo by my brother Andrew, who produced them, but like we had never done any theatre works ourselves, so we ticked that box. We've done a lot of cool things this year that we've been meaning to do with our full energy, not just reserves,
I can relate, and I think a lot of people can relate, because you're forced to stop. See, if you allow yourself...
Some people need to be saved from themselves almost.
Exactly, bro. Yeah, if you allow yourself to chase the dollar or to chase the reward or whatever it is, then obviously you push all these things aside.
Yeah.
Which may actually be a lot more important to you than the actual other thing.
That's the longevity of everything.
Yeah, so I can definitely relate. Actually, one of the reasons why we're sitting here today is because they turned the lights off the nightclubs and the events and the festivals. I was like, oh, fuck, what are we going to do?
Exactly.
What are we going to do, Paulie? What are we going to do? Wake up.
Nothing.
Usually he's very chatty. He even got himself his little camera. Paulie, you don't want to say hello to... Because he's got, obviously he got his own show. And
I'm just doing a tally how many times you guys say butt or
here we go. Producer Nazi takes over. Adolf fucking Balkaban. You know what it is, brother? You know what it is? Because he's got to edit the clips and everything, and he doesn't like it when we go and butt. Yeah. So you're going to get double the amount of ums and butts now, motherfucker.
I have a question for Josh.
Yo. I wonder what this is, guys.
Here we go. Set up.
Forget it.
Go on. One of those ones. But he does that to me all the time.
Now you kind of
bro, guess what? I go, what? I'll tell you when I see you. Nah, you fucking cunt. Don't do that. You serious? You're gonna pull that on my brother? He's just come from New Zealand. You're making Australia look bad, brother. There.
I can't.
I'll tell you later. Yeah, that's right. It was probably a bad joke or something, and he thought about it.
Fish and chips.
Fish and chips. That's probably what it was. Can you say that little thing that swims in the water? He was trying to set him up. So obviously, our New Zealand brothers and sisters, fish and chips. All right, good on you, champ. That's his contribution. Shout out to Jackie. Amazing mum.
just
amazing
a huge,
teacher.
Yeah.
I remember Jackie from when I was a young child. Not that back then I cared, but now looking back as an adult, never showed me any like, oh, you're another woman's son or anything.
Not even.
Full love. If anything, she was so embracing, and straight away she went into like, oh my God, and the Spanish, and I want to remember my Spanish, so let's speak in Spanish. And she used to rattle off a lot of things in Spanish to me, and we used to do a little bit back and forth. And I just remember energy, yeah. And the funny thing is, the parallels between your mum and my mum. My mum's surname was the Atomic Ant, the La Hormiga Atómica, which is like a cartoon character.
Yeah,
you know that cartoon character, because she's always on the go, always doing things and solving, and no problem was too big for her. And you look at Jackie, and Jackie's.
I honestly feel like she's been called something similar before.
Probably has. I wouldn't be surprised.
That's crazy. I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Dad's type.
But I'm very ashamed to say that I can't even remember the last time I saw your mama.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
there
like,
was a few years back, and it didn't manage to go through. And I think the last time
was probably
actually
inside.
The only time I remember, I
think I was inside. Right. Yeah, you guys came to visit me, I was inside.
I think we came
mid-2000s.
Maybe
no. Sorry, I just got out, and you guys came over for a visit. I think that's when it was. Fuck my memory sometimes.
No, I'm exactly the same.
I can't remember.
I know we came to visit you twice.
Yes.
And that was probably maybe just before 2010, and
one
so, just after.
Yeah, but I was out.
Oh no, shit! Oh my God, it is like ages ago.
Yeah, man. Ooh. It's like 10 years ago. Yeah, man. It's a long time ago. So we barely chat and everything. But shout out to Jackie, obviously an amazing influence, not only you guys, but a whole bunch of other people.
She's had a big impact on a lot of people's lives.
And the cool thing for me, I run into a lot of people through the clubs, and I can recall many times when I'll be talking to some kids, because, you know, not all the time, but some dance crews sometimes come through, and you can tell by the way what they wear and shit. And they come through the club, and then they bust a few moves or whatever. And I'll get talking to them. And I'm like, oh, yeah, man, like my brother's in New Zealand. And I go, yeah, Identity Dance Crew. They go, oh, yeah, man, I know them, man. Oh, wow, cool. And then I've also had people come up to me in the club straight out and say, oh, man, I know your brother in New Zealand. And I'm a dancer.
Oh, shit.
And then obviously I get talking to them, and you guys got some celebrity status down there, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're going to say it's restricted to the dance scene, and no, not really, but it's true. Like, a lot of people know you guys, man. You know, you guys have been very active for a long time, and you've reached some pretty cool heights there, man. So that's amazing.
It's been obviously just, again, like, there's been a lot of genealogy through there. You know, my brothers and
of course
Andrew and Richie were like holding it down in a crew called TMC. 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, and they were very much putting white boys dancing on the mat, because you know, like, just in New Zealand they were like, oh, you guys are the white boys that can dance, you know. There was all of a sudden, because they came out of the studio, you know, and that was like, it's kind of opposite to the culture almost a little bit. They
the street,
they made a mark on that, and then Identity kind of, we were like the younger, almost brother crew of them, and then obviously they joined a little bit later, and I think the combination of those forces and the creative energy that came from the passion, really, really came together and made some awesome stuff happen over the years.
If we wanted to put on, I know we've got some cool images and videos and stuff to show, but I've seen some of them choreos at like the Worlds and stuff. They're fucking incredible, man. I love that.
Cheers,
there's how many people on stage?
So there's like a mega crew division where you can have up to 40. I think we've hit it with about, like, generally most of our teams are maybe nearly 30, I think.
Damn. If our friend in the corner, we'll wake him up and we'll get him to search something on YouTube, what would he have to look up to find one of those killer choreos? Like what about the world champion one?
I get so critical of my own stuff sometimes. I have to think about which one I'd actually want to do.
Yeah. and then you got to remember how do we search for it? So
our mega crew is known as IDCO. So just the acronym IDCO.
IDCO.
And that could be at HHI. The top one is actually our most recent one, Upgrade, which was actually at Cody's sister, who's actually been a friend of mine for a long time, very close friend of mine, Tanika. Shout out to her. She's incredible.
Yeah.
That was actually her competition, she created Upgrade. That was also a dance camp as well, and that was an awesome event.
Make sure no sound, Paulie, because otherwise they're gonna flag us again. The YouTube gods.
The YouTube. Now, the tech censors.
Now, what I wanted to do is the reason why I wanted to show it is so we can just leave it in the background, because a lot of people at home, those watching on YouTube, obviously, not people on Spotify and stuff, but at least they can get an idea of what it is that we're talking about, because most of us donkeys that don't know much about dance and whatever, then at least we can look at this and say, oh, okay, this is what these guys are talking about. But the level is incredibly high, and we're talking obviously lots of work in the studio, I'm sure, and a mixture of technicality mixed with innovation, mixed with creativity, and obviously lots of experience, working in front of the mirror, I'm sure. Endless hours,
absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, there's definitely a huge creative element to it. There's definitely a huge drilling and cleaning and discipline and obviously to kind of you can't just get any kind of dancer that can come in, like a lot of these dancers have honestly been training for
there's a lot of chicks in this crew, right?
Yeah, man.
It's like a girl heavy.
Yeah. There. It's funny, you can tell. Like everybody's like, I can't even tell. All you guys just look like dudes. Or that's all the girls complaining about wearing the hats. And then you go to the House of Soul and they're all rapping.
Just look at the hair, dickhead.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah. So it's been a crazy culmination of every year. I think. I think with especially with crew dancing, it's so much different to just creating choreography for yourself. For me, I'll kind of go as abstract and crazy as possible.
That's right.
But
you can go anywhere.
When you go to this, you have to contain it because you have to be able to teach it. But then that comes down to your teaching ability as well. How good
also,
can you translate it?
It's limited by the ability of not only your teaching but of your crew.
Yeah, or their strengths,
their strengths.
They're I personally have a very definitive style of isolations. People couldn't call it animation, like a robotic kind of buzz. And we have amazing dancers that audition for our crews who have been dancing for lots of years in other companies. Yeah. And they come to the class and it's foreign. It's very foreign to them in comparison to a lot of normal kind of street styles, I'll say. So we have a very distinctive flavor that a lot of the dancers who have been there for a long time.
Which one was the killer? I think that's the one, no? Mega Crew Division. What was 2017 when you guys won?
Yeah. Oh, this is 2017. We ended up coming fourth. Bang. But if you go back, I reckon the better video is the one.
You tell us, brother.
Is the one down there? Yeah. So that's probably one of my favorite performances. The down.
That one.
Yeah. That was this is one of my favorite performances probably ever. It was
blow it up if you
have
can,
to wait for the
Paul.
ad, mate. Sorry.
Oh, the ads.
Sure. You want to give
Let's
Netflix any money?
Netflix
don't have any money, do they?
Propaganda.com.
Anyway.
Yeah, no, this is a really cool year.
There's a lot of people on stage, man.
Yeah, this is some of the best there's a lot of drilling that goes into performances, but we actually had to change for a few different reasons. We actually had to change our whole performance in the last 3 weeks, and usually we'll make a performance over 6 weeks or something, and this is actually one of our favorite, and sometimes you can be so rehearsed that it's almost like you're doing it in autopilot, but sometimes when it's a bit fresh, it's kind of got that extra, it's got the essence and you like what you're doing.
It's fresh. It's fresh, yeah.
Exactly. There's so many components to crew dancing. It's even gone to the point now that for these competitions, you're not even thinking about your own technicality. You're thinking about how the brain works, how the audience's brain is going to work to pick up. Yeah. Is this moment that's going to bring the audience in? Is this long enough for them to understand, have a break from this? And then, because if you bombard them with all the coolest shit, it's you don't appreciate all the cool shit
because there's no light and shade. There's no light and shade kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like any performance, it has to have intro moments and breakdowns and highs and lows.
Yeah.
And, I'm a dance expert, so I know these things.
But it's an art form in a sense,
No, of course. It's like a song. It's like a song. Yeah. Man, I love seeing that stuff, man. It's so powerful. What's this guy doing now? What are you doing, Paulie? Have you been taking my CBD oil again? I think this motherfucker snuck in a hit before before the show.
Which one's you dancing?
No. Actually, you want to have a laugh? This is a story you don't know, and actually, a lot of people don't know this story.
Oh yeah.
But there's a lot of people back home that can speak on it for me. So I finished high school because actually the first time I took to the stage was as a dancer. There was a local Latin guy. His name was Ariel. In the west of Sydney. I'm talking like 93, 94. And he was like a singer kind of rapper thing, and he was looking for a couple of boys that could dance. And my boy Goofy, aka Chris Ferris, we used to do this like from the house party movies. We used to do that thing where they hook up their feet and they turn around. Anyway, that thing. That thing. We used to do it at dance parties and everything. And he saw us, and he goes, "Hey man," he goes, you should perform for me." And we did. We were wearing tight white Bond shirts. I remember some black pants and shit, black suit pants. And anyway, we performed at the Croatian Club. I remember. But what happened was during rehearsals for it, I started rapping like his lines and shit. And he goes, "Oh man," he goes, "you should like back me up." And I was like, "All right,
yo,
whatever."
I'm down.
But
How
what
old
ended
you?
up, bro, I was 14. 14.
Shit.
Anyway, so what I actually ended up doing a rhyme, which he said, "Here, you do this rhyme," and I did it. And actually, I think I'm on the ground, down on my knees, and like James Brown singing, "Please, please, round two, I'm down to do what it takes to make you understand that I'm the candy man and I melt in your mouth and not in your hands. Hard as a rock, 'cause I'm no sucker. My roots maybe, yo, a bad motherfucker." Some shit like that. No idea where that came from. I'm actually amazed I remember it. But anyway, so really I can say that my first thing was a dancer. But funnily enough, 97, I finished high school. I'm in South America for a year. And this lady goes to me, I was training at a gym.
Yeah.
And she goes to me, I'm looking for guy dancers to join my crew, but I can't get any guys. Now, out of all the boys that were there or whatever, I think she approached me because I was just like more chatty, more like friendly, whatever, whereas everyone else would be like, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, I was looking around, everyone looked at me like, "Oh, this chick again, she wants dancers." And I'm like, yeah. But then I go, "Oh, okay,
fuck it.
Yeah, let me have a look." So I went to their class, and it was full of chicks. I was the only guy, and
it's
there
like
was
the
some.
dilemma we were talking about 20 minutes ago.
and there was some like really good looking girls. So I was like, "Oh, maybe I'll hang around."
Inspiration.
Yeah. So then all of a sudden she says to me, "Okay, look, because if you dance with us, you won't have to pay gym fees." So I was like, I'm in. So then I went back, and everyone was like, "Oh, yeah, you're dancing with the girls." And then I said to the boys, "Oh yeah, I got free gym and I get to hang around with those girls all day." And then two of the other boys went, "Oh." So then another two boys came over. Next thing you know, we got this crew. Like we were doing jazz stuff, and a lot of it was like holding them up and things. And that's why she needed some boys. And there was next to no dancing involved, thank fuck, because it's not my strength. But it was more like we had to be like robotic. Yeah. But off the back of that, I said, "Yeah, no, because I'm hip hop," and everyone knew me. The Aussie, Uruguayan hip hop, this, that. So then she goes, "Oh, we'll do a hip hop choreo." So me and this chick would do a hip hop choreo. Yo. Now I'm telling you what I remember because I used to smoke a lot of weed.
Me too.
And we won in Uruguay, which is not a major feat internationally speaking, but we won in Uruguay, and we went to represent Uruguay in Buenos Aires. That the 97. Yeah. And when we got to Buenos Aires, we got our asses kicked because there was even Americans, there was Brazilians, there was everything. It was like a huge competition. So I've been there too, my friend. I know what you're talking about.
Shit. Come on the show and he's showing me up.
Maybe after the show we can trade.
Yo, let's go. I didn't know that.
Don't do that. Yeah, well, now you know what. That's the cool thing about these conversations, right? Yeah. But, yeah.
Did you just say "but up"?
Fucking hell. The Nazi. We'll just ignore him. Either that or we'll just get Cody to bash him every time he's being cheeky. Brother, so tell me about the transition from like student to teacher, because that's something that you would have had to, very much go through, and you did it at a young age. You were saying like 15, right?
Yeah. Interesting journey. I think I had it really good in the way that I had my mom. I was constantly brought up around amazing teachers.
Yeah.
It was a lot easier in my head when I was like, come on, Mom, let me teach. And she would, she was like, oh, when you're ready. But yeah, I got my first class when I was 15. And actually, it was a really hard class because I was teaching tap dancing to, it was like an open tap class, but for beginners. And tap dance is like, okay, you can be a jazz dancer and you can go into like a hip hop class and you can do the steps. You might be a little whack, you might be a little bit stiff and stuff, geeky, but you understand the kind of components. But tap is literally a musical instrument plus a dancing. So I had to get these people transferring their weight and using their toe plate and their heel plate. And I think that year was just hugely challenging for me. Just exact like how I communicated things, not saying things too complicated, trying to break it down as simple as I could.
How do you communicate?
And when people are challenged, a lot of personality types grip onto that challenge.
That's right.
And they don't stop.
Others reject. Yeah, too much.
They're away with the fairies. So there's also that thing.
Easy. They want it to flow.
Exactly. You can't challenge them. You got to know who to challenge and who not to. But then you're teaching the same choreography to all these different personalities, characters. So there's just so much that first year taught me that I was immensely challenged by. But the teaching journey has being a student, I was always like, I can do this, and then teaching like served me a new one. But I think that I had a knack for teaching. I obviously through my mum, she was very much a teacher.
Of course,
it's just in her nature. So the teaching journey is one that still intrigues me to this day. Like even going down to different personality types, different histories, different backgrounds in dance. There's really so much to teaching that I think that is there. And I think like a lot of school teachers throughout my kind of primary, when I think back on the teachers who I really loved, those were the ones that were not only really nice and, cool, but they were the ones that knew... they knew how to talk to each student and understand that they all had a, like going through this society where we have this like one size fits all approach.
I hate that shit, man.
It's the same. It's the same thing within schools. Within dance class, you got to understand that each learner's
we're all
got
individuals,
their history.
man. Yeah, of course.
So it's a huge
and I'm not going to pretend for a second that racism doesn't exist, not only in the world but in New Zealand. But obviously, there would be a line that you guys walk because the whole Maori versus Pākehā versus white thing, and it's a two-way street too. I know from myself, the racism can come from both sides, kind of thing. But has there been over the years uncomfortable situations where, for example, Maori or Islander people that want to kind of take ownership of the hip hop thing because it's a coloured thing originally from the States? Has there ever been any of that?
I mean,
has it all been friendly banter?
Like I was saying, I think Kiwis, we're like Australians too. We take a lot of influence from America, so naturally, like a very watered down kind of situation will occur. And I think humans being tribal kind of beings, we kind of look at some, like instinctually, we look at people lines, who are slightly different. And even if we don't realize, we draw lines in our mind. But going back to like the whole white boys who can dance thing, my brothers, that was probably the biggest thing that I laugh at. But also at times there was this kind of this like you guys and us kind of thing that I didn't think was fully necessary. I thought it was a funny joke, but sometimes it was kind of like when we went to some of the school competition, and it wasn't that people were mean to us and racist to us, but like it was just kind of like, oh, the white boys. It was like, they kind of went, they can dance, and it was funny until like I was like, okay, like we're just as much of the community as you guys are. But really, in the scale of things, there's definitely that kind of culture aspect to it because it was very much brought up in those minority communities and hip hop and stuff. But New Zealand is just just such humble, like or too humble, you know, people. So I think that like very, very inclusive community, and there's been sprinkles of that, just like there would in pretty much every art form and in most things. But no, that's probably the biggest kind of thing that I've really
Has there ever been issues with, and I just want to go there because I think it's quite interesting, because you hear from time to time in Australia, you know, the kind of white people, for lack of a better word, kind of flip it back because they go, oh, you know, why should the Koreas get funding for this and funding for that, you know? Because there's a bit of that as well, right? Because there's Maori-only programs and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's, oh, man, all of that stuff, it's so hard, you know, like for me. Because
you got to navigate through these things, man.
Yeah.
You're
no,
part of
there's, you know? I can tell you, like, this is not my personal thought, and obviously you have to be very careful when you talk about these kind of subjects, but in the contemporary dance community very heavily, and they're like battling for funding. It's a very abstract art, and it doesn't doesn't pull the audiences. You need to be a very artistic mind a lot of the time to get it, you know. Very few just non-dancers or non-really artistic people will really like it and get it and show it. So they're really battling for pools of funding. And
it gets a bit ugly.
Yeah, they're like, all the Maori Pacific get a lot of the funding. And on one side, it's like, yeah, that is kind of strange, that I guess just because of your culture. And then there's the whole colonialism thing where we're trying to make up for something.
That's right.
At the same time. But then there's also the argument that, like, as New Zealand, we have a culture that sells to the world, and we're different. And companies like Black Grace are hugely successful. Pacific contemporary company has done well overseas, and that's kind of another reason why they've given them funding as well too, is because
it's an investment and a return.
They'll stick out on the world stage.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't know, man. It's so touch and go with
it's
the whole
not black
kind
and
of
white. It's not black and white.
Yeah, colonialism versus like we should all be treated equal, but it's like who did back then, and it's like There's always going to be those arguments. I think that at the end of the day, I think if you're innovative and you're creative and you really stick out from the crowd and you do something different, and you're going to give back to the creative community of New Zealand or any country. I think if you're willing to put that hard work in and not blame anyone else getting any other funds, I think you can do it yourself. But I think it's really easy sometimes to feel victimized by, they get more than this. Like if you're really on the grind, you produce something different, you're passionate about it, I think that it will show and people will latch onto it.
Yeah, and ultimately those decisions are made by people in places that, you know, you rarely get to mix with, or halls that you rarely get to walk through. So you just live with it. But I think it's an interesting point because, you know, over the years, whatever little contact I've had, even at like community radio level and stuff like that, you hear comments and you go, fuck yeah, I wonder how people, you know, put those issues to bed and kind of work with it and work through it, because they, you know, all of these things are divisive. You know, whether they're not meant to be, they are, you know, because you're saying that one person, as justified as it may be, has more of a right to something than you. And then obviously, historically speaking, it's justifiable. But then, you know, what did you do or what did anyone else do? So it's a let's say that it's a complicated conversation.
Yeah,
but I think definitely the approach is from the heart and you know, and keep cool and ultimately stick to your craft and be the best you can be and run your lane. As I always tell people, run your lane and don't look sideways too much. Injuries.
Injuries.
Because I mean, I've seen you guys perhaps under the effects, because we have had a few nights where you guys have taken the lead. But I've seen backflips and all sorts of crazy shit, random ones too. Like we're having a conversation, blah blah blah. Bah! I'm like, what was that about?
Madness.
What are you doing? Show off. Which
Andrew Cesan, old Andrew Cesan.
Not the new one.
Andrew Cesan.
The new old Andrew Cesan.
Yes, exactly.
Shout out to Andrew. No. But obviously it takes a big toll on the body, right?
Yeah. Oh man, like I've been battling for a long time. I had a pretty like interesting childhood in the way that like when I was born, I had like a stomach disease called pyloric stenosis.
Okay.
And that got to a critical stage when I was 6 months old, and I had to get a major
really
a major operation on my stomach valve. They were having trouble letting things into my stomach. Okay. I was going to die if I didn't get this surgery.
I never even heard of that
funny story.
disease, man.
I'm going to rip on my mum here. But so yeah, I got the surgery, and I've got a huge kind of scar on my stomach to show for it. A lot of people think it's my appendix. I have got that out too, but I got microsurgery like they do these days. Sure. But I got a big scar, and actually my physio kind of was asking me. I've been going to a physio. Shout out to Shihan, you're the man. But basically, my kind of body has been naturally kind of taught it this way because of the way I was sewn up. And my physio brought it up. He's like, "Oh, do you know much about that? Do you want to get the records?" And I actually went up to my mum. It was literally this year, maybe last year, and I was like, "Hey, Mum, do you have any kind of?" My physio is saying that the surgery might have something to do with it. Do you know anything about this? And she's like, "Oh yeah, it did go a little bit wrong, didn't it?" And I was like, "Oh, Jacqueline,
bad mother,
Cesan." Oh man, that was
irresponsible mother.
But she'll kill me that I said that. But yeah, so like they say that I think the way they went through the muscle tissue was a bit odd. So this is turning into a victim story now, isn't it? But it's about juggling.
I did ask about injuries, so yeah, man.
It's about juggling kind of what you're given with and managing it. But yeah, there's that. And then I got hit by a car when I was 12, like pretty seriously. I flew like 3 meters close to an intersection. Yeah.
Man, it's all happening in New Zealand, huh?
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
This is Josh's sympathy story. But yeah, I was kind of like a little bit of a different mover from the get-go. And it actually had a huge impact on what I've given to the creative and dance world. I danced different straight away. You know, I used to get laughed at, to be honest, when I was doing some of the kind of more the hip-hop moves, just because my frame was a bit different.
Yeah.
But a lot of people would get defeated by that, but I think that I just kind of went totally me, and it kind of contributed to it.
Work with what you got.
Exactly.
That's life, man.
Yeah.
Take what you're given. And,
you gotta. Yeah. But that goes back to us saying, like all the weird people, all the crazy people.
Oh man, no doubt.
Crazy. What does crazy really mean? It means different. Or something you can't understand, or something you haven't seen
that's
yet.
Right.
And
yeah, man.
That's kind of There's and I'm still managing my kind of like I've got like a few. I used to get real technical about it, my lumbar and this and blah blah blah.
Back issues.
Yeah.
Because a lot of compression, right?
Like but a lot of the acrobatics and terrible warming up, warming down practices that hip hop has compared to most studio styles. They've been very trained and educated in that. But hip hop dancers
warming up and everything.
Like knees. You look at some of the old school hip hop dancers, some of them can't even walk because of their knees and stuff. There is just no actual technical or education behind it. But I've been juggling that for a long time, and I have an incredible kind of physio who's like super passionate. But over the years I've kind of learned so much about my body through my injuries, and there's so much complaining that was being done at the start of my journey, and I still have my days here and there.
I'm sure you do.
Ultimately, as me and my role as a coach and a mentor and a choreographer, I feel like sometimes I was destined to have a kind of a hard road through, because now my students, they know that
from you.
I want to know, they're starting to realize that, like, shit, like in the nicest way, I don't want to end up kind of managing my injuries so much. Man, no doubt. And I look into what makes it happen more. Honestly, I'm still got so much to learn. I'm a rookie in it, but I've got an awareness of my body and an awareness of looking around me and saying like, hey, this isn't right. And that's actually a dream of mine, which I've talked to Cody about quite a lot. And I wanna implement like some sort of conditioning center, or something to do with helping dancers, especially within the street realms, get more of an education and have more help and guidance through the kind of journey. Obviously, they have their physios and stuff, but dancers, the thing that my physios have always said to me is that, so you have a golfer, they're going to have a set amount of injuries.
Yep.
But a dancer, like
everything,
someone like me, you're literally, what you're doing as a choreographer, you're literally finding a way to dance or a movement pathway that you've never done before. That's what you're trying. That's what your day to day is when you're trying to make a new dance, and then that creates some reaction on the body that you haven't done before. So instead of these set amount of injuries,
like
a rugby player who has these concussions, my physio sometimes
all over the place.
What the fuck did you do this time? You were fixed like 3 days ago, and I show him. I've shown him videos now. That's really cool because he started to analyze how I dance and stuff, and he's like, "Oh shit, that must be doing blah 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 blah." That
good.
You move because of this, and I've been very passionate because of this to try and help dancers have a longer career.
Sure.
Because a lot of hip hop dancers stop when they're 30 because they're lack of education and lack of management, and I think everything when it comes to nutrition and all of that, it's education is the thing. You can't hate on them and be like, you didn't warm up and warm down. It's like, fuck, I don't know what the fuck I was doing when I was warming up and warming down. You know, it's bigger than that. So that's something I'm passionate about. And injury, being someone who's suffered, I guess, over the years of a bit of pain and discomfort from and I've had to sideline myself a few times. It's been ultimately a positive thing in the way that I can spread awareness to others. In that I have a vision. Exactly, I have a vision to give back and help people to not follow the same road as I once did.
I think that vision is already happening, brother. I mean, you know, you being a teacher and speaking and even telling the story here, I mean, you're already kind of spreading that awareness. I mean, I'm sure longer term plans might be a bit more solidified, let's say, or more specific.
The seeds are being watered currently.
I think they're already germinating, but I mean, that's life, brother. You know, if not only do we have to learn for ourselves, but how selfish are we to the world, and how irresponsible are we to the world, that if we take all this knowledge that we've acquired through, you know, others and our own mistakes and not share it with the world. I mean, it's, you know, and again,
that's how we gotta go on.
And very much one of the main reasons why we're here, aside from the fact that Paulie and I are unemployed. Actually, Paulie's not unemployed. I'm unemployed. He's no. Is you know, to share stories and hopefully from some of the things that we share and we talk about, and some people might be inspired to you know, pick that ball up and run with it. You know. And in this case, hopefully dancers become a little bit more aware of their bodies. And I can relate a little bit, being a personal trainer background, because I studied that when I was locked away. I did a correspondence thing to become a personal trainer. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then a lot of the things that they were teaching us, and they still teach you and they still get you to do nowadays, like, for example, in a case in point, when you do a squat and you go below the 90 degree, so your knee bends below the 90 degree, you're putting your meniscus under an incredible level of strain, and it's not meant to be. And how I kind of came around to this is many years later, I'm talking 2015, I'm playing beach football in Uruguay with all of my boys, and it got heated, as it does, because we're fucking football crazy. So we started going in hard, and I went in hard, and I dislocated my knee, for my left one, for like the third time in my life, which is one of the reasons why I kind of pulled up with sport a lot. I used to do a lot when I was much younger. But so then I went to see a physio in Uruguay, and this is as the story goes. So he does the x-ray, whatever. And I'm talking to him, and he says to me, yeah, you know, I can tell you play a lot of sport. And he's showing me how the wear and tear and blah, blah, blah. And he says to me, yeah, he goes, because, you know, I'm a physio and I've got both my kids into physio as well. And I go, really?
Oh, wow.
He goes, yeah. He goes, because thanks to guys like you, we all have guaranteed work for the rest of our lives. And I said, yeah, good on you, motherfucker.
He told you, you didn't give two fucks, man.
No, but what he explained to me is that a lot of the things that we do as part of, from pros, obviously, all the way down to everyday trainers, might be great for performance, but they're no good for future mobility, functionality, and practicality.
Functionality is probably the biggest word.
Yeah, and one of the things he said to me, he goes, really? He goes, no one should ever be putting anything more than 10, 20, 30 kilos above on their shoulders.
Yeah.
Let alone above their waist. He goes, definitely you should never, and he explained to me how the meniscus works and when it wears out. It's almost like when clothing, when clothing kind of gets older and stuff, and you get those little balls and stuff. Yeah. Apparently that's what it looks like. Yeah. Ooh. And then obviously a tear is a tear. And what it is it's like a piece of rubber that sits between your joints and your knees. And so when you do that, it pushes it all the way out. And then on top of that, you got all the weight on top of it. So the meniscus is getting really battered. Yeah. So what I then say to people when we're training or whatever, I always say, great, man, go hard with your Olympic, squats and deadlifts and everything. I mean, good on you, man. I can't knock anyone for wanting to be a better version of themselves and their personal best and everything. I go, but do you want to walk when you're 50, 45, 55?
That's the real
because
question,
that's where all of these people are going. Yeah. So enjoy your big, powerful legs, which you can achieve other ways, by the way. Yeah. You don't have to go beyond the 90-degree angle and all these other things. Even simple things like telling people when you run, don't run on concrete.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's one that I can't even do when I thought, I think, what is it? You're putting 3 times your body weight into your knees?
Yeah, well, I mean...
With the concrete?
Look, there's people that play... There's lots of sports that are played on concrete, and I played a lot of it myself. Yeah. Volleyball was a perfect example. I did a lot of volleyball as a kid in my sports, high school, national champion, gold medal, many years ago. And in some ways, we all kind of pay for these things later on. But if you can avoid it... Yeah, we were never meant to run on concrete. None of our ancestors going all the way back ever ran on concrete. So cool, if you want to do your running or whatever, do it, but don't run on concrete, fool. Yeah. Don't run on the street. Street running is the worst. Yeah, you're pounding your all the joints in your body. Much impact, yeah. As a matter of fact, there's some people that will tell you that after 40, you shouldn't run at all, because of the wear and tear on the body. Now, balancing act, yeah? Yeah. Because if you listen to... You got the physio on one side. Yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? That's got to look after your body, and then you got the doctor or whatever, and then you got the professional PT or whatever it is. Yeah. You got to kind of find a middle range somewhere. Yeah. But generally speaking, dickhead, don't run on concrete. Like, duh. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense, man. The amount of pressure and such a a artificial surface. Like, you just have to go back to kind of what you think we would have been doing, a few hundred years back.
Yeah, plus, I mean, you do have options. You can run on grass, you can run on sand, you can cycle, you can walk, you can run on a treadmill, you can do all sorts of cardio, you can box, you can do all these things. But pounding on concrete, not necessarily a good thing. There's a couple things that I wanted to take advantage of you being a New Zealander, being here, because we love going down these rabbit holes and things. We probably won't go down too many red pill rabbit holes. We might do like some
we could go all night if we do.
We can do some pink pill rabbit holes. Because red is, we're going to go down Morpheus. Morpheus will take us down. No. But I wanted your take because, look, on this side of the ditch, a lot of people kind of speak about your Prime Minister, that crazy bitch. What was her name again?
Jacinda. Auntie, what do they call it? Auntie Cindy.
Ah, man.
Or the propaganda, that's what they call it.
Yeah, please. So a lot of people kind of say, I wish we had, a Prime Minister like her. I've got a different opinion than a popular opinion of her. But what's the take from where you guys sit over in the island, Jacinda, doing everything she's done and what's going on in New Zealand?
I actually just completely I do like my politics. I get into a bit of the detail, but I really look at the kind of the stuff that's not really seen on TV and stuff. That's right. And for a while I kind of just stopped looking at New Zealand politics, but I think I started to kind of tune in a little bit when she was kind of starting out, and like it rings all the bells, sure. the woman who's fighting for all these rights, of course. And she after the shooting, she was kind of like embracing the Muslim culture and stuff like that. So she's really showing all those virtue signals, she fits the part of all of that. And I think too, you can hate on it and be like, she's this person, but to some people who aren't educated, they see that and they just see a figure who is motherly and all of that. So New Zealand is kind of like a mix of, I'd say like 70 to 80% the most conservative people ever. They live on farms and they drink milk every single morning and have Wheat Bix and watch the rugby and all of that. So for those people, she's fulfilling this motherly figure and she's caring and she locked down the country to, you know, save all these lives. But also you've got a very alternative community in New Zealand too. And I'd say that a lot of them are waking up. You know, there was a lot of stuff kind of circling around her kind of, I don't know if you've seen it, but there's the speech where she says the word comrade, like something like 30 times. It's at this. And so the general thing for New Zealand, she obviously just won in a landslide. I think there might have been some weird shit going down because I honestly feel like Advance NZ, who I was personally voting for, because he's actually the only dude who said some real shit and was asking the real question. Billy Tekahika or Billy TK. He was slandered all through the media like crazy. And you know when people are being slandered through the media that there's some kind of
watch
push
that
on.
Guy.
Watch him, and there was some crazy stuff going on there. So I very much kind of tuned in to some, like her saying that she's gonna help UN agenda. What is it?
Agenda 21.
She literally says it, and it's crazy though because people just have no idea, and it kind of goes down to like they just don't watch any a lot of people don't watch things that question their own narrative. And I was watching I don't watch Netflix very much because I believe personally that that's like a big propaganda machine.
Big sedative.
Exactly. Just like watch Netflix and then you won't kind of dabble off into what the hell else is there in the world. But there was actually good social dilemma. Have you seen that?
I've heard it being referenced a lot. I haven't seen
there was some hugely propagandized points in there. But it kind of talked about how more than ever in history, because of the way the algorithms work on social media, we are only seeing our critical viewpoint.
That's right.
We're only being fed that.
The echo chamber.
So Trump supporters are only seeing pro right wing stuff, and that I just had to agree with, because if you look in the States at the moment, everybody is so sidist about their thing. It's all lacking their own critical thought process. So no, it's like there doesn't even need to be that much propaganda anymore, because people are so pulled into their own ideals. And it's like they kind of almost want there to be a free thinking community, because they're the ones that the other people are going to kind of look into. So Jacinda I personally think that she's just another player in the race. You know, I think New Zealand has, I used to think New Zealand was the most like free this and blah blah blah, but you learn about these countries, the smaller countries, we're the ones that have actually got the most kind of corruption in there, because they've like figured out how to use the system really well. Like there's some crazy stuff. So
not many people, most people take things at surface value, you know, like whatever they at face value, which is just on the surface. And it's a story that's being told and presented. It's like a movie, and you watch the movie and you go, okay, cool, you know, that's what it is. But you know, really what's going on is much deeper than that. And actually, you know, I don't think ever the devil's going to come up to you, slap you in the face, and you know, and
you got to look, and
then rip your clothes off. You know, the devil's going to come to you smiling, and he will offer you something, and that's how they drag you. You know, that's how it is, and unfortunately, the hijack of the so-called left, of the so-called compassionate people of the world, of the so-called mainstream value people of the world, is so huge. I mean, you know, from anything from Black Lives Matter to global warming to anything related to COVID. Please don't fucking go there. How
many conversations have we all had with people? We see our pages just about COVID. It's just this talking point. The news doesn't even need to present it anymore. Everybody's fucking talking about it.
Yeah.
And guess what, guys?
Tell me.
There's a movie coming out about a COVID.
Yeah, there is, right? It's like super.
Songbird.
Of course there is.
Is that the one that
reinforce the narrative?
Super, but it's like super propaganda, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah. It's called Songbird. Check out the trailer.
Yeah, the propaganda machine has been on overdrive.
Fact checkers, man.
Yeah.
You see Candace Owens, I think she's suing fact checkers.
Good on her,
I need
man.
to look.
Good on her. Look, I actually think that probably one of the only ways of moving forward really is to start putting some serious lawsuits on the table. Unfortunately, I was very sad to see that publicans in Victoria, at least, weren't successful in their lawsuit on the. It was based around restriction of movement and how, you know, the Victorian government kept them locked down or shut out for so long.
That shit was crazy, man.
Yeah. You know, I think a lot of people have been talking about Victoria, but the rest of the country is not faring much better. I mean, to me, I think I've said it on this show before, but I don't even want to go into that conversation about whether we should or we shouldn't, or is COVID this or is COVID that. My opinion is no government should have the power to lock you down or tell you what to do or where you can and can't go to begin with. They've got a responsibility to inform you of what their information is and what their health advice is, but ultimately they're not your parent or father or legal guardian. They're just the government, and we're all adults, and each one of us should be able to make, you know, whatever decision we want. Exactly. If you believe you are truly frail and you need your health protected, stay home.
Exactly.
Exactly. You know, and if you want to close your business because you believe that's how you support the stop of the spread, or the not flooding of the hospitals, or the flattening of the curve, or whatever fucking thing we're supposed to be doing one week and the next week we're not anymore, because I don't even know what we're doing now. Like, it's always changing. Don't wear masks. Wear masks. WHO says everyone should be locked down. WHO says no lockdowns, they don't work.
I honestly feel like COVID has been this even bigger divider, you know. Like I feel like there was like all this information is being restrained and all these doctors are coming out. Yeah. And I honestly, like, I feel like they actually drip feed information that is of the other side that's probably factually true about kind of like lockdowns are bad, just to then confuse people, and then people like, they said this, you know. It's just a divide kind of.
Look, ultimately, the dark side, let's call them, for lack of a better word, those who shall not be mentioned, wins. Any government, any authority, any weapon of control succeeds when we are divided, because when we are divided, we divide and conquer, that whole thing. So unfortunately, the polarization between the so-called woken and the not, and the sheep and the wolves and all of that, is actually playing right into the hands. And even a big part of why social media does what it does, not only because they get a direct result out of making you mad or that's proven. Their algorithms
selling you things, understanding human behavior.
They also by creating that echo chamber, which is, the Trump supporters only listening to the Trump supporters, and the flat earthers only listening to flat earth shit, and people at home only watching the Expansion podcast. What happens there is you become more and more and more polarized to the point where you can't even have a conversation with someone that doesn't share your views. And in this crazy cancel culture that we're in right now, outrage society that we're in, I mean, just because you and I disagree doesn't mean that we have to be enemies.
Yeah, we've always disagreed as humans.
Always.
We're genetically all different, and
that's what makes society rich.
Exactly.
Points of difference. Imagine everybody was the same. How fucking boring would that be, man?
Exactly. Imagine if we were the same dance crew and had the same moves and same style.
No, and another thing, and I'm actually a bit of a critic of migration, unchecked migration. Even though I'm a product of migration.
Do you lock your door?
But I mean by unchecked migration is you need to have a system in place where people are brought in, and assimilation is not a word that I like to use, because assimilation is a derogatory term in my world, but in my world. But you need to have like Australia back in the day used to have a lot of programs where immigrants used to come in from overseas, and there'll be community services provided, so then these people could be, you know, integrated is a much better word, I think, and they would be supported, and then those people could then become productive members of society, and so on and so on. What I was trying to get at is as much as we sort of have this thing in Australia where we bash refos and we bash immigrants and stuff like that, Australia without migration would be a backwater.
Yeah.
And I'm talking when I mean migration. I mean migration from England, from Europe, from everywhere.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying?
Everybody, yeah.
I'm not, because most people, when you think migrants, they think everyone except, that's right, exactly. Everyone except Anglo-Australians. No, I'm talking everybody, and that's what's made this place. I mean, I often like to take my more, racist is not the word, but some of the people that are sort of pro, you know, kind of, you know, fucking go back to your own country type thing. I say, do you know your own history?
Yeah.
Do you know there was a government slogan for decades in Australia, and everyone at home can look this up: populate or perish. That was the slogan. There was another slogan called White Australia.
Insane.
There was another slogan called White Australia. But there was a slogan for many years called populate or perish. And basically what they used to say, to great effect, because it was true, that Australia was, and hopefully will be, an economic powerhouse because of the resources and the size of the land and all of these gifts that we have from Mother Nature and everything. But we need, to this day, we need people. We're a quite underpopulated, nation. For the landmass. And much more so 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years ago. So, you know, coming back to where we left off, I think Australia is one of the most amazing countries in the world because we have this melting pot of cultures and ideas.
Hugely diverse.
Yeah.
Go to Sydney, man, it's crazy.
Yeah, and I love it. I mean, I come from, I can. If you want to know what a monoculture is like, go to Uruguay.
Oh, really?
Uruguay is a monoculture. Uruguay is as close as you can get to a monoculture probably in the world. It's a very small country, quite traditional. And aside from its sort of internal cultures that developed over 500 years, there are some influences from later migrations, Italians, Amos. But generally, we've got Afro-Uruguayan culture, which was there from the start, and obviously these Spanish bits and pieces. But you for example, you know, I cross the street here and I go to a Thai restaurant.
Yeah.
And I cross that street again and there's a Lebanese restaurant. Yeah. And I jump in the cab and there's an Indian cabbie. And me being the person that I am at all three of those places, I'm asking them things. Oh, how do you say this? And that's why a lot of people, when they say to me, how come you can speak fucking, Bangladeshi, which I can only speak 2 words, but it's because I jumped in a cab driver with a Bangladeshi cab driver and I'm like, hey man, so where are you from? Oh, I'm Bangladesh. Oh, how do you say it?
Yeah.
And the reason why I ask is because I know somewhere in Sydney I'm going to run into another Bangladeshi and I like to say what's up in their language, and that's a cool thing.
That's dope, man. That's
man.
So much to learn from.
Yeah, and even
from
like
every culture.
Yeah, and we know, with things like, Aussies know more. I mean, I'm sure Aussies nowadays eat more chicken pad thais than they do meat pies.
Yeah, straight up.
Fuck.
You guys have got so many Thai and Vietnamese restaurants.
Yeah,
we have a lot of Thai restaurants.
Yeah.
And I love Thai food and Thai people. Going to Thailand was an awesome
You're going to eat my
experience.
beautiful woman's proper home cooked Thai food over the next couple of days. So but that's a beautiful thing, and again, the beauty in difference in contrast. Like I look at some of the more sort of religious, dogmatic cultures and societies, and I'm thinking of some of the Hindus and the Hindi cultures and the Muslim cultures and even Catholics, and I may not agree with everything they do, say, or act, but you got to appreciate the beauty and the difference, and the fact that that's an ancestral thing that they carry.
It's a beautiful thing that's formed over years and years and years.
And it's just and the thing is, if you want people to respect you, if you want people to if you think that people should give you the right to have a voice, and to respect your way of life. And, you want to wear an orange jumper. In some countries, that orange jumper might be legal, but hey, you've got a right to wear an orange jumper. Yeah. So if you want them to respect you, then you need to respect them. And if you think you have a right to freedom of speech, well, then everyone else has the right to freedom of speech, whether you agree or not.
Exactly.
And that's a huge issue with me right now, because there's a huge cancel culture thing going on. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
And to see people tell you that you should not be allowed to say or think, or that doesn't.
Yeah,
that doesn't,
I mean,
that doesn't sit well with me at all, man.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of people who have a lot of things to say that doesn't really a lot of people agree with, but those things, unless you're trying to really, I mean, and sometimes maybe if the intention is you're trying to belittle someone with what you're saying, it's like, that maybe that shouldn't be said, but sometimes those things aren't even to belittle. They're to open up the thought process and be like, hey, what is this? But if we can't do that anymore, then who's dictating?
Exactly. Where do you draw the line?
Where do you draw the line?
And who gets to decide? Exactly, my friend. And another problem I have is idiots should be allowed to be idiots, because then we know that they're idiots and they will be excluded from the mainstream, if there's such a thing. And I think that the best remedy to a bad idea is not censorship. It's good ideas, better ideas.
Yeah.
You understand? So if idiot number one wants to come up and say, black people, rah, 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 well, then you go, no, hold on, man. You let the other schools of thoughts come in, and history and everything, and that person won't be censored. They'll just be pushed out, classed out, essentially.
That's what's not happening a lot these days, is that with these cancel cultures and these people saying that, like, oh, you're racist for saying this. There's not a lot of people actually just coming in with the facts that they have got. It's just cancel, and that's what you find a lot on this mainstream news and stuff. They're not actually providing the facts to say this is wrong. Actually, they're just like, no, you're a racist, and they use all these trigger words that kind of come into play.
And then there's the how much power do you give to people when you censor them, because that's been around forever. When you're banned, people give huge amounts of power to that person.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on old Alex Jones?
Alex Jones is a crazy motherfucker, but I like him in the same way, for example, that I like Pauline Hanson, in the same way that I prefer, because I can't say that I like Trump. I'll never say that I like an American president, because let's face it, they are at the head of, at least in appearance, of the biggest killing machine on the planet. Yeah, exactly. But I appreciate their honesty. I prefer seeing the wolf without the sheep's clothing.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? So I appreciate their honesty. I appreciate people that stand up for something and say what they mean, at least to a certain degree. Pauline Hanson, again, another good example, someone who's been taken extremely out of context over the years, and she does say a lot of dumb shit. But we're humans, we say dumb shit.
Yeah.
And you should be allowed to express your feelings.
Yeah.
And you should be allowed to say fuck and shit and all these things and say wrong things and good things, and because that's what makes us human.
Exactly. Sometimes the dumb shit you realize 3 years later was actually some real shit. Like crazy people.
The other thing too is the problem is when you have a truly independent, honest person anywhere near a position of power, their faults, their mistakes, and their controversial topics and ideas and words are augmented, broadcasted to so
Billy TK was huge in New Zealand.
I don't know about the brother, but it's a guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Billy.
Yeah, Billy. Yeah. But again, I at one point I remember thinking of Pauline Hanson as a fucking racist bitch, right? Because on the news, that's all you saw.
They
right?
drill it into you.
And I must say, to some people, they probably justifiably so look at her and say, fuck, what a racist bitch. She said this, this, and this.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But what about everything else you said?
Yeah, add the other clips back in between
exactly.
all those words.
Yeah, exactly. And in a similar way, Trump, I mean, forget about it. I mean, the guy has done and said many things which should be broadcasted and should have the light shown on it, but it doesn't and it never will, because they made him public enemy from the beginning.
As soon as he was what did they say? He was only called a racist as soon as he decided to run for president.
Well, actually, he may have been called a racist, but I remember him being the darling of the media, whilst the Democrats were trying to eliminate who they thought were better political opponents.
Yeah.
Once he became the contender to the presidency, that's when the war began.
Yeah.
Because they wanted him to be Clinton. Now, if I take a step back, that whole conversation about Trump and Hillary and Biden and all this, to me, it's all WWF professional wrestling. It's all pointless.
A show. I was very much entangled into it for a long time.
I
had to take a step back and be like, hey, wait, this hasn't actually happened. Like Assange for me is the number one thing that proves everything. Is if Trump and this whole QAnon or whatever was really happening, then Assange, like, why isn't he being pardoned? I don't know. Is there more information?
Yeah, I think my answer.
We're getting deeper into the rabbit hole now.
Yeah, my answer. Yeah, a pink rabbit hole. Not a red one. Not a red one. Red. The red. We can go red, bro. Just hit the button, and all the studio lights will go red.
SWAT outside the door.
Motherfuckers can go deep.
It's actually sad that Assange is like an enemy. Like,
he should be celebrated. He should be celebrated.
For being truthful.
He should be celebrated. He should be celebrated.
Criminals, and he's a criminal now.
Yeah, he should be celebrated. No doubt about it. And look, unfortunately, that's the death of investigative journalism. Because if there's ever an investigative journalist in the world, is Julian Assange. Destroyed.
And an Australian. Hell
yeah. And a fucking Aussie, man.
I only found that out probably 2 years ago, and I was like, fuck, that's awesome.
Yeah, man. But that goes to show Australia, weak as piss. Weak as fucking piss. For its own people overseas, weak as piss. Weak as fucking piss. You see all these other countries, you fuck with someone overseas or whatever, the embassy's there right away, they help them out, this, that, they got pull, you know? Like we prance around the world as if we're some sort of medium power, like we like to call ourselves.
Medium power? That's what...
Yeah, I think the medium power is something like that. But really, you know... forget our ties to America. The most important tie should be to our own people, first and foremost. You know. And here's this guy who again, he should be brought back to Australia and given Australian of the Year award, and he should be celebrated and all these things. What he's done, you can go. There's a lot of conspiracy theories that he's controlled opposition and all these things.
Really?
But I think all of that stuff is counter spin. Yeah, there you go. But I mean, I like to, because a lot of people say, you know, like, do you like Obama or do you like I mean, why would I like or not like? I mean, show me what they've done.
Exactly. That's the thing. Yeah. It's about downplaying the other side as opposed to really
attacking the man. Attacking
policies.
the man.
Yeah, actually, we were talking. We were talking a bit of politics with Cody's parents, Jason and Mabu. Shout out. We were they're on, and now we're talking about.
He's getting his homework, huh?
They're talking about, you know, like how politics has really become this show about like it's this it's a reality. It's a reality show, and we were like, the younger generation doesn't really know anything about politics. And then we're like, fuck, actually, when you go back to it, they're like, nah, our generation too. No one actually knows about the things that matters. And they're not asking for that. They're like, we're literally separated to two colors. Like, that's how like primal instinct we are when it comes to politics. Like, no one's really looking at anything that really holds any value. If you go on the debates, it's more about downplaying the other side than it is about uplifting your side. It's
Indeed. So there's a strategy that's been around for a long time where you do not even want to talk about your strengths. You want to talk about others' weaknesses. Yeah. That's more political point scoring is better had through attacking others than actually playing to your strengths. Which, I mean, you know, it's just a thing that's evolved over the years and the decades. And there's some movements going around, even in Australia, where they're calling for not only a new type of government system, which I think we need around the world. We need to have a more inclusive, more democratic, more direct, not only voting but representation. And, we're not in the era. We're in a completely different era with internet and all these things where people could be plugged in directly to decision making and all these things. But also, there's a lot of people that are calling for the end of party systems. Because parties have become, parties have become entities to themselves, where all of these politicians, and I've taken some of them to task on email here in Australia, particularly since the start of COVID, and all they do is speak of the party. And I'm like, well, you're meant to represent me, not the party.
Yeah, the party, it kind of becomes this club, the sports club or something, and people get religious about it, the thing that I've been saying to a lot of my friends that I think is like fucking whack, first of all, is like, there's a red and a blue party every country you go, and it's like every country should have their own, like, we're all different people, we might be connected globally more than ever,
of course.
but we're kind of all different. You go to each country, we might have more different needs, and for some reason
there's a center right and a center left.
There's one party that represents the working class, and there's another one that represents some people, like
that's 100-year-old or 200-year-old reality. Which has to change. It has to change completely. And again, even like, and that's why I don't even get involved in left and right. I like talking not right versus left, but right versus wrong. If something is right, it's right. If something is wrong, it's wrong.
Critical thinking.
Doesn't matter who said it. I mean, again, you want to talk to me about Trump or Biden or whoever. If Trump does something well, as in he signs something, good. If he does something bad, it's fucking bad. I'm not pro-Trump. I'm not pro-Obama. They're just characters.
A lot of people will jump out to defend. Oh, he probably had some, and there's some of those QAnon kind of people. I was following that train for a little bit, and people were like, no, there is a bigger picture to it. It's like, fuck, that's a convenience. Fucking.
Yeah, I think now more than ever, we've got. It's the only time really we've ever had. Everyone in the planet has a voice, essentially, through social media and everything.
It's a very interesting time.
Yeah, so all of these things are coming out. But what I do think is when it comes to freedom of speech and censorship and all of that, you got to take the good with the bad, like you do with everything in life. And the good is that, yes, you get to say what you want and all these things. And the bad is you have to listen to other people say what they want as well.
Exactly.
Now, nothing's stopping you from changing the fucking channel. If you don't agree with someone, either don't listen or put forward a better idea.
Yeah.
But that's it. You don't have to, I've been silenced several times on social media. I've had people report me and all these sorts of bullshit.
It's this day and age, one of my students... snitches get stitches, G. One of my students goes to a school. This is kind of related, kind of not, but I think you can understand where I'm going with this. One of my students goes to a school where they don't give them a fail, they give them a mark called developing.
Okay, here we go.
Now and as you get older, you kind of look back on your mistakes. We all make mistakes every day. It could be something stupid, like I shouldn't have eaten my chip that way. It caused a crumb on the floor. Like, it goes down to big to small. But failure is a part of life. Just like hearing things that might seem crazy or someone could be offended by. It's all got to be in the melting pot, because then it's actually funny. It goes down to that contrast within dance, even, to appreciate that really fast movement, there's got to be a slow movement before. Like
light and shade.
Balance, even within your diet, balance. And you've got to hear those things. You've got to fail. And now we're being wrapped up in cotton wool, and the censors are kind of, they're fact checking and stuff. It's like life. Like the lion eats the gazelle, and we don't all want to see it, but like it happens. Like all these crazy things happen in life, and we've got to accept them. We've got to take them on board, and it's applicable to everything. We've got to hear those opinions of people we don't like.
I hear you, and I also have I have a lot of issues with the sort of modern day education, let's say, where you're not allowed to give people like the fail grade, and you're not allowed to say this and you're not allowed to say that. I mean, we've been here for thousands of years. Obviously we always need to improve, but what better way to learn than to fail?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Every now and then you need a slap in the face.
Straight up.
It's the ultimate. I mean, they're going against almost like our DNA, because in our DNA there's this thing where you can listen, and some people do learn from hearing others telling you things, but there is no greater lesson than falling.
It's like that typical story of your mate with that girl or someone that you told him that she's bad, or the other way around.
Yeah, exactly.
He's bad, but they don't learn until that fourth kind of thing. It's the full experience that brings on the emotion that is the full lesson.
And that's how we develop strength. That's strength is not never falling. Strength is how you pick yourself up when you fall. You understand?
Reaction.
So I'm not saying that a lot of these people's intentions are not good. I think everyone's intentions in some way or form, not everyone, but the people.
Some people,
from
it's
the top,
not like they're trying to destroy the fabric of society. They just don't want
some people
to
are,
be
but
hurt.
plus you got to understand that they there's the 1%ers definitely. But what I'm saying is, so all these people that they've learned these things and they're putting it into practice. Now, what happens is if a psychologist takes over the school curriculum, you're going to end up with that shit.
Yeah.
But what you need is a collection of voices, and a lot more voices from the non-psychologists, health sector, bullshit, bully experts, blah, blah. Yeah. From this side, let's call them street level people. Need to be part of that conversation as well, where you say, okay, cool, I don't want my kid to go through this and that, but that's fucking life.
Yeah.
And they got to face it, and they got to overcome it, and with parenting and with the right teachers and everything, we'll do it. I mean, we're a community, we're a society, But unfortunately, that's probably, I think, where we've lost and where we're losing the battle, because parents are overworked and they don't have enough time and they're tired and bad nutrition and blah, blah, all these things that, kids are not being raised the way they should be, which is
raised
with
by
the
screen.
Yeah.
A lot of
no doubt.
It's crazy. A lot of information has kind of been finding its way. Yeah, I've been looking into it, but a lot of information has been finding its way into my life about the kind of how society is and how humans are taken into this fight or flight mode through our daily stresses, through being woken up by an alarm that's extremely loud at
shallow
a time.
Breathing.
I found that I had a shallow breathe, and even back to the guy who cuts my lawns, actually a good friend of mine, and Richie Das was talking about how he was getting this chronic pain in his body, and he was reading these books about how it's actually from mental stress, and like there's so much that's going on in our society, how fast and how unnatural we're living, that is actually causing the illness just as much as, I don't know, the actual bad things food, that are
pollution,
exactly,
physical things,
that our lifestyles and are actually causing us to feel these things and to go upon a subconscious manner without even realizing. Like even down to my injury, I kind of started looking at something I've been looking at physically for many years through physiotherapy. I've looked at maybe, I don't know, sometimes there's these traumas that you didn't even know were there that can cause that they can stem from and stuff. And the lifestyle that we're living as a more unnatural it goes is kind of sending us into this repeated pattern of stress, and it's kind of
one thing that not a lot of people talk about is our brains, human man and woman, is overstimulated. So never in the history have we had this much exposure to connectivity. So by that, what I mean is you're always available. So you can always be interrupted. But another big one is, as an example, back in the day, you might come home from work and speak to your woman and speak to your kids and put the TV on for a couple of hours and then switch it off, and then you might go to bed and maybe read a book or maybe just fall asleep. And then obviously work was work, but now from the moment you get up until the moment you go to bed, you've got this
personalized TV channel.
Yes, and this access to, I wish it was the Library of Alexandria, but it's actually become, super dumbed down, and this thing where we develop these addictions where, your mind just wants more. And you've seen one movie and you want another movie and you want to see another TV show and you want to see what's going on in the stock market and you want to see what's happening in social media. If anyone's contacted you, right? And then the phone rings and it's a real person. Fuck, what's this person calling me for? I'd rather they SMS me because everyone wants to SMS now. Everyone wants to talk. So we've got this problem where our minds is like sugar. We're addicted to this rush of stimulus. And stimulus. Which is unfortunate. But my brother is a dancer. So no. What I wanted to say is I think you guys have lived, you and your brothers, an incredibly interesting life because of your art form, and also many people that you guys have crossed paths with in Australia. So my friends and whatever, they've always commented like, "Yeah, man, your brothers, man," because you guys, I think, when you make a living out of your chosen art form, your aura is completely different. And specifically from the arts, because you guys being performers and everything, you guys got a very beautiful, very, very amazing presence, which I'm sure you're not even aware of.
I see it in my friends who kind of my co-workers
on a similar,
absolutely. Yeah. There's a resonance in a
definitely,
a flow and a rhythm. I think.
I remember being a youngster and dating some female dancers, and I just remember feeling the difference. There was like I can't put my finger on it, but it was just like a totally different energy. But you guys have been doing it for all your lives. I mean, it's as much as part of you as your name, right?
Exactly. It's
for life too. It's not like you're ever going to quit. It's something that you're going to do it in some shape or form.
I'll always be involved with it. I'm very sure about that. There's a few questions kind of a few years back. Actually, a good friend of mine, he asked me, and he was like, "Who are you?" without including anything to do with dance. And a few years ago, I'd just be like, and I think it's still a stumping question now because it's kind of, it's not something, it is my job, but it's something that I define myself because I love it and I'm proud of it. You know what I mean? It's something that I really love to do.
Well, I mean, good question. And I think us humans, we're great at that stuff, why am I here? And, none of the animals do that. We're the only ones that do that shit. But, I mean, ultimately, any great person, whether they were happy or unhappy is probably another question. But any great person at any sort of thing, whether it be sport or whatever it is, ultimately they lived either their entire life or that segment of their lives completely obsessed with whatever made them great.
Exactly.
So, I don't think any one of those people started looking sideways going, like Diego Armando Maradona, like, do you wonder like, oh, shit, maybe I should be like a painter. Nah, motherfucker, I play football, like that's what they do. But it's a beautiful thing to watch from afar. Yeah. And I'm always like sharing you guys stuff and having a look and I always speak very highly of you guys. Very proud to be.
As I do the other way around.
Yeah, you better, motherfucker.
Rafa was very arrogant and I inserted it there. There you go, Paulie.
Fucking set up. So that's what it's come down to, huh? Fucking setting me up.
Guys, I have some results.
Tell us.
Rafa's on 100 badams.
Hey.
Josh is on 10.
Oh, all right,
so if the camera switching and production is below standard for the show, we will know that it's because our dear friend Paulie, instead of working, was counting ums and butts. Thanks, brother. Good on you, champ. Hey, why don't we do show and tell, man? I'm excited about this show and tell.
Yo, let's do it, man. I'm down. I tried to string it together as...
No, we had a look at a few photos and stuff before, as we do. Show. Yeah. Yeah, good on you.
Hey! Let's go. Is he gonna dance in this? Is that why you pulled it up?
I'll do the little...
Josh, as a dance teacher, do you have any
pointers? Oh,
pointers?
Please. This is after 7 years, Joe. There it is. Eva!
His hips probably move better than mine.
Yeah, probably after the injuries, no?
My lower back.
What the? Oh, hold on, man. I think Andrew told me. Is this the suits that you guys have been working with?
Yeah. So This is called. These suits are part of Vospatron. I pulled up this this photo just because I thought it was a real interesting kind of snapshot into. Yeah, we're dancers, but kind of we've had some real kind of interesting opportunities, and we've made some interesting networks. Fellow creator of the suits, not a fellow, he is a friend of ours.
What's his name?
Creator of the suits, Peter Vosper.
Okay.
He interesting fella.
Andrew mentioned him to me.
Yeah. We've had some interesting journeys through that, but some beautiful ones. We found ourselves in Russia over New Year dancing for some. I think there was some oligarchs and some billionaires and stuff.
But that's not the only place you've gone with this.
No, we've been to
China.
We went to Kuala Lumpur. We went to Macau.
Yeah.
We've done a few gigs in Australia.
Sure.
Andrew's been to Oman.
Yeah.
Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
Yeah, these suits have gone around the world.
What about Armenia?
Armenia?
No.
Nah, man. That's on
Armenia, Paulie. Make it happen, brother.
But yeah, this
Gotta
is.
get him to Armenia.
So what are we seeing here, Rafa? Like.
So this is these are
Josh.
light suits.
I'm Rafa. Josh, good on you, champ.
No, for my my Spotify patron.
See, he loves fucking pointing out my faults. Right. So
no, you're also entertaining. You're a great man.
Thanks, brother. Too late. So for all of our viewers that are listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, not YouTube, we're looking at an image of two boys sitting inside a car wearing
a Ferrari
Tron kind of. Yeah, whatever. Tron-looking robotic type uniforms.
Do you know Tron?
Yes, brother, I do know Tron. I probably watched there was an original Tron, right?
Yeah, there was like.
I probably watched that one before you. Oh no, actually no, you're older than me. I take that back.
Wow.
Anyway, we'll lock horns. We'll lock horns later, motherfucker. Yeah, he's very aggressive. You know why?
He's keeping you on your toes, though.
No. Fuck that shit. I'm on my toes all the time. Don't worry about that shit, man. After 7 years jail, I go to sleep with one eye open.
It's Monday, and I had coffee late at night.
No. I'll tell you what it is, right? Let me tell you what it is. Paulie was working for RLC Productions, general manager, events company, with me as his boss. Come on. He was very relaxed. He was loving life.
He's taking the opportunity
now he had to go back into the corporate world. So now he's gone back to his old ways. He's a fucking prick again. He wants to ride me like he rides his workers at the bloody office he works at. God bless them all. Let's keep going, please. Opa! Man, that's a gunshot.
Yeah, that's actually part of the performance that we watched.
Just before.
That was
cool outfits, man.
Yeah, styled. Lucy Peters, I think, had a
really
good friend of mine.
Colour camo looking thing.
Yeah, like that kind of militant vibe. Yeah, that was a really good year of going to the World Champs and
2017.
Company.
You guys came what?
We came. This was our first place performance, so we were first in New Zealand in the Mega Crew division, and that really was a big stamp for us.
Okay, so this, all right, sorry, of course, as it says on the screen, this is because first you got to win or place in New Zealand to then be allowed to go to the World.
And then you go to the World Champs, yeah.
Sure.
And, we ended up coming fourth in the world, which, as a competitive Kiwi, everybody comes home and they're like, so who came first? It's fourth in the world. So that's something that you hold like
everywhere,
proud.
Brother.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
being this day and age.
Yeah.
But beautiful year of growth. And of lessons of successes and failures, as that taught me a lot. But ultimately, a really cool process.
How many teams or countries would go to finals?
Finals, I think 8 teams get through, and if to put it in scale, there was probably like 70 teams in the start of the World Championships just in that division alone, and then there's 50 countries.
Okay.
Within that qualify to get to that. So there's qualifiers. Blah blah blah.
I'll ask the question again. So after you win New Zealand, how many teams go through to the international?
From New Zealand?
No. Around the world.
Yeah.
Ballpark.
So
you guys came fourth out of how many?
I think it was like 70 or 80 or something like that.
Wow. That's a good number, man.
Yeah, man. It's and there's some insane skill.
Yeah.
From all around. There's some countries that just like...
Yeah, because if you came fourth out of 4, then I would have said, try next year, Nah, man.
Yeah, it's been some good years, though. And last year we were real successful. It's a cool thing when, you do well with your crew. But last year was like a immense thing. our varsity, so that's the high school age at like 13 to 18. We had, in the same division, we got the gold and the bronze medal with our boys team, Swagonauts. And that was actually never done before at the World Championships. And it's one thing to do it with your team and your skills, but that was, I think, a really big sign of how well I think we were coming through as coaches and mentors and teachers.
So with those teams, then you're obviously like coach, and you're involved in the choreo as well, like designing the choreo.
Yeah. So we have awesome choreographers. We work on a kind of basis of having like we all have our own style that we bring to the table. Shout out to Shivi Makaire, Indigo Sangala, Justice Totolo, Alvin Wong, Selena Torres, who's came on board this year, Chance McKay, who's come on board this year, Leighton Rangi, who's come on board this year. Hopefully you guys get to see this. G. But yeah, we all bring our kind of mix in there, and then Andrew, being the amazing mixer that he is, his music production,
of course, so he's involved
insane.
in that.
He really brings the contrast and dynamic within the routines to life, and there's a real cool team that goes behind it, and then I'll kind of look over the whole thing and what does this need, blah 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 blah. But it's awesome.
How long would you guys be over there for like during the comp and everything? Because it must be an awesome experience, man, for a young person to go over and travel and everyone together, and it's awesome. Yeah,
our company, Identity, my company, is really like it. Kind of the competitions were really the thing that brought so many of them, other than just wanting to learn from us. They knew that we would take them to either a very high national level or an international level just through our successes through the competition. So for many years, and this year being that year of change, and it kind of gradually happening over the last few years, where we're really, really putting ourselves in other awesome professional kind of arenas. But we knew that they would take their their son or their daughter into this team, and they would they'd get a really high skilled training with some awesome coaches in choreography, and they get to represent their country at the world champs in a big or a small team. But it's a really it's a rigorous training to get to there, and we're there for probably about a week.
We try
to get there 3 days before, because you want to try and climatize, but at the same time you're dealing with a huge different demographic of a lot of kids have got really wealthy parents, a lot of kids are straight from the street. You know what I mean?
So you do like fundraising drives and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard though, because if you're to do too much fundraising, you're literally taking away from your chance of doing well.
Thunder. You're stealing your own thunder.
Exactly. Yeah. So we found that out over a few years of doing it. So we do a few certain fundraising things, and we'll pay for stuff like hopefully a bit of the accommodation, the transport, and
but
we'll try and tick some boxes.
Ultimately, the parents got to whack up. Yeah.
Or we'll help promote their own fundraising efforts. That they can do, and they're totally capable of doing. Like Indigo, who's been going to World since she was 16, she hates to see these kids kind of opt out because they're like, I can't come up with $4,000, because she made her own baking as a 16-year-old. She made her own baking and sold it herself, and literally fundraised it herself, all while doing that. She just always used to be like, no, you can do it.
Yeah, so these, for 4,000 New Zealand's about 600 Aussie, no?
Probably.
Yeah, because the Australian dollar's so strong, cuz. What are we looking at? Okay, press play, Paulie. I'm excited to have a look.
Skip to maybe like 30 seconds.
All right, skip to 30 seconds. Or
maybe actually, yeah. So this is actually one of my favorite workshops that I got to teach. This was in Thailand. I was actually talking
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is in Thailand at a dance camp, which is like an event where you learn lots of choreographies from all these international people or people from Thailand. This was one of my kind of bigger first experiences overseas and stuff.
Yeah.
And what was just such a delight. This is 2018.
18. Oh shit. So what's the dance level like in Asia and Thailand?
There's some, obviously there was also all sorts of like walks of life within dance. There was some people who have their own studios and stuff. I find that in Thailand, like from what I saw of that part in that studio, they were hugely influenced by like old school gangster, mad party dance. So me coming in there with some weird animation-y dubstep,
New Zealand white boy crazy shit.
It was very different for them, which is cool to bring. That's what I enjoy about being different, is I enjoy kind of challenging people and making them question like what the hell this is. But there's some super dope dancers. Kitty and KZ are in there. They own a studio.
And when you're doing this kind of stuff, it's a mixture of, you know, freestyle and all these bits and pieces that you've had from over the years, no?
Yes, absolutely. Like, so my way of choreographing is literally get into the studio, play the music, freestyle, and then solidify, freestyle.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, and then you kind of go through your patterns, and you know that this works with that, but then it kind of comes together on the day, no?
There's absolutely. Oh, when you get to like a crew thing, or when
no, forget the crew thing. I'm talking when you're doing these solo kind of stuff.
So when I'm teaching my own choreography, when I do like a bigger international kind of workshop, or like I'll generally like skate that freestyle very, you know, because if I don't really know it too well, then I can't teach it that well. So I got to really refine those moves quite well.
But case in point, what you just did there for all those guys, that was more like a freestyle type thing that you just did, no?
That's me showcasing
the
choreography at the end. So that's the choreography that I showed. Sometimes we'll end up freestyle, especially when there's that energy, you know. They'll keep on playing the music and you're like,
of course. I'm sure.
But so that would have been a piece of choreography. That would have been that piece of choreography that I taught them. And then at the end, I was kind of showcasing.
Showing off.
And Josh, you know, got to flex.
Josh, what's that dance style called? Pop and what is that? Robot?
Oh, you know, there's a lot of categorizing to be done. And
15 years ago, buddy.
Yeah, I'd say like it's like isolation or animation, but it stems from a lot of the popping, kind of more the funk styles from the popping, and maybe not locking, but there's probably some wrist rolls in there. And I think that like a lot of people would say what you do is in hip hop, and I think that in some senses I agree, and in some senses I say that hip hop is this evolution of all these influences. So I think that I'm heavily influenced from the more of the funk style side that influenced hip hop.
Just like the music itself.
Exactly. Dubstep itself has got this like...
I mean, what is hip hop nowadays? Yeah, of course you can hear stuff that's more pure and more traditional. But essentially now more than ever, it's just a never-ending fusion of you know, electronic and hip hop and reggaeton with Latin and all these crazy things, you know.
It all feeds its way in.
What's going on here, cuz?
Yeah, this is a bit of a crack up photo. This is a really cool moment with my homie Chevy. What up, G? This is us in Tahiti, actually.
Yeah, I was about to say definitely not New Zealand.
New Zealand's beautiful, but not that beautiful.
No, because you're in the water with your shirt off. That's why.
Definitely not.
Not with a wetsuit on, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Nah, just joking. You guys got some beautiful coast, man.
Yeah,
which you can go for about 2 weeks of the year. Enjoy when it's 19 degrees.
Fucking truth.
Laying it in. I love New Zealand, man. I just can't go there. That's why I hate you. New Zealand government.
Oh, bro. So this is Tahiti. We have some really good homies over there who they're called All in One Tahiti. They're a crew over there. And
wow, in Tahiti.
Yeah.
Awesome.
They were fans of Identity.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
They came over to New Zealand because New Zealand decided to hold not only the national championships, but the South Pacific Championships, where there's like together. Samoa, Tonga, Fiji, and they came over and I got introduced to them, and they were like, "Oh, yo, we love what you guys do," and they've been kind of fans for a while, and so they got in contact with the organizers of the national competition and decided they'd love for me to go over there and teach some workshops.
Oh,
and then
man!
This is actually the second time I went over there. We vibed so well that they brought both me and Chevy over to help with their routine that they were meant to do this year. This is this year. They were meant to do it at the nationals, but it all got cancelled. Yeah,
because New Zealand's big brother to Tahiti, right?
Oh, no, they're a French colony.
Yeah, but still, there's even if you want to fly to Tahiti, you got to go through New Zealand from Australia. Did you know that?
Oh yeah, actually no, I was looking into getting this one.
Yeah.
To Tahiti.
Yeah,
I was like,
you got to go to New Zealand.
Yeah, it was like $1,700 where you can get a flight from Tahiti to New Zealand for $400.
There you go.
Yeah, so no, it actually is in a way. It's only 5 hours from New Zealand.
Yeah, I wasn't speaking. I mean, in the dance world, definitely New Zealand's the big brother to Tahiti. I'm sure. Yeah, because if you guys hold the South Pacific or Pacific comp, New Zealand's obviously the powerhouse, right?
Yeah.
How does New Zealand go versus Australia in the dance world? In your dance world?
It depends. In the real competition-y...
Shit's all over Australia, right? You can say it.
I think...
You just won't walk out of here, brother.
See, I think there's so many, there's so many different avenues of dance.
No. You know? In your world, brother.
In my world?
Yes.
My world is like, so in HHI, which is kind of the world championship competition, I'd say, most of the time we've shit on Australia.
Yeah, that's right.
But in terms of producing amazing individual choreographers and studios with their own distinct style, I'd say we're very much in league. You know, there's some insane choreographers that have come out of Australia and New Zealand alike. So... but Tahiti was dope, and it's just cool, like, to see where dance it was. Exactly. It was just the last place I'd expect. But man, that place is beautiful. The people are insanely beautiful, and that water was just like it is in the fucking desktop.
That looks amazing, right? Crazy.
So good,
crazy.
doesn't it?
Holy shit, so good.
I nearly drowned in Tahiti. I was 4 years old. They pulled me out of a pool dead.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh whoa.
Wow. And because back in the day, when you traveled to South America from Australia, it was with Pan Am, which is now defunct airline. So you would go from Sydney to Auckland to Tahiti to Easter Island to either Santiago de Chile or Buenos Aires, depending on which airline, which flight. And then what used to happen was in Tahiti, you used to do an overnight. Yeah. And everyone loved it because it was like a nice hotel and everything and all that. So, so I was just playing, and then some kids, local kids, pushed me in the pool, and I just remember being under the water, looking around. Oh, these massive. It felt like an ocean, you know? Yeah. And that's all I remember. And then apparently some chick saw me not floating, but under the water, pulled me out. And thankfully, there was actually a famous Uruguayan singer, Jorge del Prado. Shout out to Jorge. He was there, and he was like a PE teacher or something, and he knew how to resuscitate. And he did the thing, and I spewed out the water, and I came back to life.
Shit, man.
Tahiti.
Many stories.
Yeah, man, definitely. I actually got to speak to Jorge because I'm going to license one of your songs, motherfucker. I want to do a remix of a very famous song that he wrote many years ago, but I digress.
Don't give up too much information, all right?
No, it's all good. No one cares. It's a song from Uruguay. There's only like 200 people that listen to it. Whoa.
Yo.
Is this... Who did this?
So...
Not Jazz, no.
No. Andrea, she's
an insane.
Jazz. Shout out to Jazz.
Yeah,
she's been doing some crazy looks.
Every time I open Instagram and she pops up as
she's hustling too. She's that's just stuff she's doing to build her knowledge and her portfolio. So she's constantly just doing. She's trying to, I think, stick to one every week or something crazy.
Talented
like that.
Woman, man, incredible. Yeah.
I respect that she's taking her craft and she's taking it into her own hands instead of needing to do it for something. She's just doing it to build her knowledge and portfolio. But this is actually a recent project that I did with a guy by the name of Shelton Woolwright, but his stage name is Deadbeat. He's oh my god, what's that? It's like it's a really big Kiwi band, but I wasn't the biggest rock fan, so I can't. Blind Spot. Okay. They're a band called Blind Spot. He was the drummer, and he's actually done like many tours over his years, and he was a judge for X Factor, and really, really cool fella, but he had decided to do his own act, and he's been doing a lot of the summer festivals around New Zealand, playing a lot of big gigs, and he's just this crazy drummer who just goes off by himself and gets the big skull kind of thing. He's created his own like sub-brand. Nah, I was the Terminator for Halloween, but that's a different story. But yeah, this is actually really, really fucking dope music video that he
it's for a video.
Yeah, so he actually saw the choreography that was from Thailand.
Yeah.
a friend of mine, Chloe, a dancer who I've known for many years, she actually goes out with him because she did dancing with him on a New Year's Eve festival. Sure. And they had a big night together, and he was about to release his own music. And then she, when, probably 4 a.m. or something, she was like, oh my God, Shelton, like, I know the person that you should get to be the dancer in your new song. This is the guy that should be in this stuff, because it was some grimy drum and bass, like fucking dubsteppy intro, like, and she pointed me out, and then he flicked through my videos and was like, boom, like, I want him. So I got to do this really cool music video where it was just very, very much my style, and created choreography for it, and it was a dope set, and should be out in probably about maybe, I don't know, a month or so. Shout out to Deadbeat Shelton. That was a fucking sick experience.
We'll keep a look forward to
the production and the production team. It was fucking dope. I'd actually done something with them many years ago with Andrew and Kayla. That was just a really fucking dope experience. And this year, being a year of change, actually weirdly brought some really cool experiences for me as an artist. Straight after the first lockdown, people were just keen to do shit. So I got to do some really cool stuff. Like 2 music videos and this commercial / corporate video for a Japanese company called Tore, where I was kind of choreographed into these polygons. Like one was like made out of leaves, and then one was like a guy made out of these like trash cans, and then so I choreographed within these different polygons how they would move. I got given a description, and I had to kind of fulfill all these quotas and create these like 8-count segments for each one. And I'm all done in motion capture. So I did the moves, and then they put the dots all over me, and then they turned me into the animation.
Oh, really?
Which is actually, I actually did a job similar to that for Style Like a Tokyo Dry, which is a beer release that happened in New Zealand. We got flown to Tokyo after the World Champs in 2016, and we got asked to choreograph for this, and we went through all these locations in Japan, and we filmed like pretty much a sick dance video, but we did the same thing in a mocap studio in New Zealand. And as the commercial goes, we start as just identity, and then we transform into like origami and these crazy like animated sumo wrestlers and shit. Yeah.
Do you have like that stuff somewhere that we can see it?
Yeah.
Not right now, but you know.
Yeah. If you search Style Like a Tokyo Dry, that whole commercial will be on there. That's actually a really
that's cool. One. No, because I'd love to drop a lot of links and stuff so people can follow up and have a look, man. Yeah, that'll be awesome.
It was actually a really fucking sick ad process, and a company saw it and wanted that same thing, so they hit up the same guys, and then they hit up me 4 years later.
Oh wow!
So I got another kind of ding off the awesome dude named Joe Kafali. You're the man. Shout out to you. He hit me up, and that was a really cool project.
Busy boys and amazing projects to be involved with.
Yeah,
exciting,
cool stuff that challenged me. It's one thing to choreograph for dancers. It's another thing to choreograph a lot of corporate shit. Is pretty like shit unless you're kind of into marketing and they get you to kind of create something really cool.
But man, you're getting paid, bro, to do what you love.
Oh no, exactly. You can't complain about it.
No, you got to be thankful, man. Yeah,
exactly.
Let's have a look at the next one, Paulie.
Is that?
This is actually a snippet of that. This is just me filming my laptop though.
Play it.
So this is cool, probably a bit horrid.
Yeah. It's like a fucking spaceship. Oh, so this is the
drummer guy.
The clip from the last image. All right, so we're looking at a drum kit. And that's the guy?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
That's the MC on it.
Yeah.
That's my friend who recommended me, Chloe. Shout out to Chloe. That's me. And then
simple but very effective, man.
Yeah. It goes off. This guy's a mad performer too. He's really built like an awesome character with what he's doing.
That's cool, man. But you don't see many drummers, fronting. You get what I'm saying? Yeah.
He was very honest about. He was telling me his story, and he was kind of saying that like I was always keen to like put myself in that front because I was always playing wild. So he decided to. To put himself in that sphere, and I respect that he can say that about himself and then create something for himself to do.
Well, as a former drummer boy myself, I used to love walking around the front of the stage and then go take my spot. Go take my spot at the back. Yeah, that's right. What the hell?
So this is actually a mask company. Hit us up. Masks being very popular.
Yeah.
Now through the pandemic and whatnot. So this is a commercial, or like I guess a dance video that was made, filmed and edited by my homie Josh Faliatua, who is incredible. And if anybody wants some sick edits or filming done in New Zealand,
it does look pretty cool, man.
They just got us to be
nice.
kind of influencers, I guess, in a sense, and advertise their product, but make a dance video. And this is kind of my mask advertisement of just being a fucking weird alien dude.
It's pretty cool, man. I love it.
But
cool location.
Yeah, some really cool. Just sometimes when you think like videography actually made me really look at like locations and just places around different. Fuck, I'm shabby in this next photo. I didn't see that as much. But just again, shout out to Josh Faliatua, who released another collaboration with me and my student, who's now an insane dancer, Caleb Cameron Lee. He filmed another one, and that's on my Instagram that I've just uploaded. And he's just got a really amazing way of bringing his experience of dance into his crazy world of videography and editing. And
So for everyone at home or wherever they may be listening to on Spotify or Apple Podcast, we've just been watching a couple of videos of the brother Josh doing his thing. You will be able to find links to most of these things on the text accompanying the podcast. So guys, make sure you check that out.
Instagram.
But we'll drop your Instagram there as well. The family snapshot,
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
This is
my namesake, no?
Yeah. Oh man, this is for namesake, absolutely. But this is a huge light in all of our lives in the last 2 years. Not that there isn't other positive things I kind of framed. But it's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Different.
Absolutely. This is, I guess you could probably almost say like Rafa Jr. This is
Rafa the third.
Yeah, exactly.
Granddad Rafa, me, and then him.
There's a lineage right there, which is so cool. But
there's another Rafa.
There's another one.
Yeah, there's another one. Actually, his name is Rafael Luis Cesan Guerrero, which because I'm Rafael Luis, the same as our granddad, Rafael Luis, Rafael Luis Cesan, and he is one of your cousin's sons. In Juan La Casa.
Actually, no. I think I've seen him on the book
on Facebook. And a lot of the times, actually, I think people write to him thinking they're writing to me. Because I've had people say
he looks Latino, yo.
No, but he's a kid, right? But he must spin out because he gets all these messages in English.
He's like, fuck.
But anyway, he's little Rafa.
Yeah, it's just been a really cool journey being the firstborn. Actually, it was the first of all of us.
The first of all of us.
And it's funny because Andrew is the exact center child.
Yes.
Of our three families of dad.
Yeah, he's in the middle.
And he was the first to kind of produce the offspring.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. His name's Rafa.
And a male too. So
and a male. Testosterone. This little dude has just brought a new wave to our family, new energy. Man. He's fucking gonna be talented as fuck.
Really?
Though.
Yeah.
His feet,
got the rhythm.
His rhythm, his entertainment factor. He knows a whole room is looking at him, and he'll have shy points, but he commands that room.
Yeah, really.
And He's
X Factor.
He's got it all. He's very much the son of Andrew Cesan.
Yes.
Andrew was very much an entertainer, a talented person, and knew how to, tell stories. This guy might not speak English, but he's telling stories. But he's gonna be, man. He's crazy. He has like.
And the mama.
Oh, Kayla. Shout out to Kayla. She's an insane dancer and choreographer herself.
That's what I'm saying, because Kayla does a thing too, so you put the both together. Can't go wrong.
This amazing hip hop music producer, very talented male, and then Kayla together, who's insanely creative choreographer, teacher and dancer herself. It's just collides.
And they just did a show together too, right? They put together something.
Yes.
2 weeks ago.
Oh my god, I should know this. It's Duality.
The name?
Duality. Oh my god, I'm scared about that one. But it was fucking insane.
Really?
It was crazy.
Yeah.
I just loved seeing the evolution of both of their both of their flavors as choreographers, you know, like so often we go to hip hop competitions and we're defined within that. And I think, like Kayla has, with her training, she's been, you know, she's had all this technical training as a jazz dancer, and she's done like contemporary in studios and all this, but they've brought all those influences. Andrew produced the whole show in terms of music.
Wow.
Fucking slumpers from start to finish.
Oh, really? Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, all of Ruby's songs from the EP that Andrew, they danced to all of them, and cool. Ruby was in the audience of the show I got to watch, which I was just like feeling so special that she was getting to watch that. It was just this big family affair, you know. So yeah, Momentum created an amazing show. And
shout out to Andrew and Kayla, man.
Shout out. Yeah.
What do we got here?
So this is actually what I was talking about earlier about us creating kind of more artistic, contemporary
like
show.
Almost.
Yeah, I really want to develop who Identity is as not a dance company, but like an act.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, you can think of so many people as acts. Like, what do they provide to the world of? Entertainment, but like what are they as like an artistic entity?
I get you. Not just competitive kind of force, but more like a creative.
Exactly. Like what can we like
put a stamp on it kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. For me, this picture is one of the more like kind of theatrical visual aspects. Yeah. For me, this picture is a painting, but obviously it's a moving painting in real life.
Yeah. It you look at it and you think contemporary.
Yeah,
even though it's hip hop, because you can see
there's
what people
influences.
are wearing. Yeah. That's so pretty cool. Yeah, well, hopefully you guys get to do a lot more, man. We'll look forward to seeing it. Is there any way? So that production that you guys did, is there video footage of it somewhere? Or?
So Perspective Connection, which is what it's called, this was a development. So we actually applied for funding to try and turn it into a show and stuff.
Sure.
We didn't get the funding, but we still, you know, as I said in those last things, you can't let that define you. We went and made the show and we pumped it out. Even through all the lockdowns, we pushed the date 2 or 3 times to make it happen. So yeah, we've developed the work. It was at its first stage. We're going to release snippets on our Instagram, IDCO.nz, and on mine and on our choreographers' Instagrams. But we really don't want to show the whole bit of it to the world just yet.
Not from beginning to end.
But there will be snippets of it, and we're really proud of the first development of what we want to give. We got some really insane feedback from hip hop dancers, teachers, contemporary dancers, teachers, mums, dads. So
and hopefully we can bring it over this side of the Tasman, man.
Exactly. I'm very confident that within a few years we'll be taking a theatre show around many places in the world, Europe.
And God willing, brother, God willing. Stay positive and keep at it.
Yeah, bro, have to.
Man, that's a gun photo, man.
Yeah, I really like this photo.
Yeah, man.
That dude in the middle was fucking cool as.
Yeah.
Shut up. This is just a dope snapshot from that. So that show we did, we actually had one. We were meant to do one show, which was actually an in-house competition called Battle of the Senses, and that was another thing we wanted to tick off the list that we didn't get to do over the years. Was a competition between our students. Okay. They had to choreograph their own routine. We gave them a concept for their routine, which was each one of the basic human senses. But because of all the COVID bullshit and all the lockdowns, and we had to squish both Perspective Connection and Battle of the Senses into one show.
Is COVID bullshit in New Zealand as well?
Oh my God.
What a coincidence.
I think it's everywhere, yeah. But yeah,
I love the tracksuits, man.
Yeah, shout out to Ahutoa Lanefale, my man who does all of our designs, our flyers,
that looks dope,
merch
really
designs.
Nice. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it's he's gun at his designer. He's fucking sick.
Size medium.
Size medium. I've actually got you a t-shirt that I haven't given to you just yet. It's just in my bag.
I don't want the t-shirt. I want the tracksuit.
I'll send you. No pressure.
Man.
But yeah, this is just a snapshot from one of
great
our...
photo, man. Great photo. We're looking at the guys on stage.
Shout out to Nina G Photography who took this photo.
Great photo, man. Yeah.
Shout out to who could I see? Rach, Calvin, Cece, Jar, Manny,
live
Sean.
photography is not the easiest thing.
Oh, with dance, especially like within the style. It's like...
Yeah, that's right.
Trying to get something that's not blurry.
That's cool, man. Looks really good.
So it's just a boom, boom. Oh wow, Facebook quality. So that's that's us on the left with the New Zealand flag. This was a really cool moment. We actually had come second. I'm going to be salty and just tell everyone that we should have come first the year before.
I agree.
We were robbed.
Even though I don't know what I'm talking about. I agree.
We were robbed.
I agree.
We were robbed. But beautiful. Everything happens for a reason. I know that for sure. And we're meant to, get our placing, and we're proud of it. But this year was the second year, and we got a silver medal for the second year. But this was in a different division. The first year was in an adult crew division, which was only 8 of us. This was our mega crew division in 2014. And the thing that's special about this is that, again, what I said with last year, we it wasn't just us, it was our students, and some people who were jazz dancers were in that team, and we managed to really give them an experience and show them how much you can achieve through the hard work. And
well, it's a progress as well, right? I mean, to get to number one, first you had to, get to all these other places. And first Philippines and third Russia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, so and amongst some heavy hitters, man.
Yeah.
Some heavy hitters.
And Philos are crazy dancers, man. I remember back in the day, even here in Sydney, man, the Philos, when they used to break dance and shit and get down, I was like, wow.
Power, man.
Yeah,
you hear them breathe. I used to laugh at them because when we walk past them, they'd be like... And I used to laugh and be like, oh, you guys are hard up. But then I realized a lot about using your breath within your routine to help your stamina, but also stabilization of your core through your breath is actually so many ways in which your breath helps you through your life. But through your routine, you got to fucking stay tip top right to that end. And I was like, they were onto it the whole time. And I swallow my words.
Yeah, you're kind of contradicting yourself a bit there, right?
Exactly.
Here's the family.
Yeah, man. This was a beautiful day, but a sad day. Unfortunately, Mr. Rafa didn't get to you can actually see it in our faces.
It's like,
we're like, fuck yeah, it's so cool, but we're missing one awesome member of the family.
So here we have the entire New Zealand family. Yes, everyone's there. Yep. Andrew?
Yes.
Yeah, everyone's there.
Yeah, this is all of us with Jazz, Richie's girlfriend.
My old man in the middle. There's Jackie, which is Josh's mama, towards the right there. Megan on the far end, Bruno and everybody. So this was on the way to become the first time that we all got together.
Yes. Okay. Wait, would that have been the first?
That would have been the first time. Yeah, that would have been the first time. I've been with a lot of you guys. My sister's been with a lot of you guys and so on, but not all of us together in the one place. So we flew from Australia to New Zealand, and I had already been to New Zealand a couple of times and transiting for a couple of times. But this time they stopped me at migration, criminal record, you're not coming in. But I put up a bit of a fight. And so when I'm kind of arguing with the customs people, being polite at the beginning, because obviously I wanted to get in, this photo actually came through. And I said, see, I want you to look, after an argument, and I'll get into the argument because it's kind of funny. I made it funny, but I said to the chick, because it was a chick that was dealing with me in like an interview type room. I've been in a few of those over the years, but so I said to her, see, I go, look, here's my family all together waiting for me to come and see them, and you're not letting me. And she wouldn't look at the camera. Like imagine you're there, and I put it like this, and she wouldn't look. She was like this. She took, she was writing some shit, and I said, no, I want you to look at the family moment gathering. You're stopping us from having, because you won't just let me in, like you have before. But the start of that conversation at the beginning, I was very polite and everything, and then once I gathered that they definitely weren't going to let me in, I started
push the boundaries.
And I started laying in a little bit, and then she goes to me, so irresponsible for you to have, come over here expecting that you just come in when the law clearly stipulates and blah, blah, blah. And I said, listen, I've been in here many times before already. Why are you always saying this right now? I go, plus, when you come from Australia to New Zealand, it's like going to Queensland. You know, like I'm just going to right.
The
and then she goes,
shit.
"No, it's not." She goes, "We're a separate country." I go, "All right, sorry, not New South Wales to Queensland. It's like going from Sydney to Tasmania." Oh, she was fucking mad. She goes, "No, it's not. We're a separate." I can't remember what now. She used one of those terms. You know, like we're a separate. Whatever.
Sovereign.
Yeah. We're a sovereign, and then she's through that. We're a sovereign nation, and we got a right to tell, whoever comes in and who comes out, and blah blah blah. And I was like, all right. Thank you very much. Beautiful moment I missed, family moment that I missed there. But we'll go to the
beautiful one. Though, it was a lovely night, and so cool to see Gabs because
of course, we'll really get to see her.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right. Living in Mexico,
so
my
far
sister
away
now.
Yeah,
Rafa, we should get Nick. Shout out to Nick to Photoshop you in there.
Can be done. Why not? Not a problem. I'm sure it won't make up for me missing out. But anyway, next one, please.
Oh, this is a fun one.
Man.
Yeah, this is meant to look hella cheesy. So this
that's my brother Richie on the right at the bottom.
Shout out to Costeezy one, Richie Cesan. Shout out to all my homies that are in that photo. Carlos Skipper, Lance Savali. Jordan,
everyone
Kyra,
is meticulously
Carrington,
presented.
Alex.
All of their beards are perfectly shaved and shaped, and their haircuts are all like they got done on that day. And
we've all got makeup on, boys included.
I was about to say, is that what it is? So you boys have worn makeup too.
That's why there's not one blemish, man.
Man, that's amazing.
So this is actually this is a fictional crew that was created for a movie called Born to Dance, which is New Zealand's...
Yeah.
So
New Zealand's answer to Step Up or something,
yes,
no? Okay,
yes.
Awesome. Okay,
Step Up with the Kiwi touch. So
all right.
me and
Sorry,
Richie,
what's the name of the movie?
Born to Dance.
All right, so we can look that up somewhere and people can see it, right?
It's
Rafa.
cheesy as fuck, but it's...
What?
That was actually my question before. Remember I didn't want to say it? Would you go in a Step Up movie?
Would I go?
Would you be in a Step Up movie? Yeah. That's my favorite movie.
Thank you.
Checks, right?
Thank you for your extremely valuable contribution to the conversation tonight, Paulie. Amazing. Expanding the Expansion podcast. Thank you so much, big man.
But yeah, this is so
for yourself. For yourself, cunt. I like her hair too. That looks mad though.
Yeah, Alex. Yeah. She's actually dancing with all crazy. I think. Do you know? She's from Canberra. Eh?
Yeah, we did a job together.
Yeah. She's working all around the stage. She's dancing for like J-Lo, Janet, Cardi B.
Wow.
So shout out to her. She's insane.
She's from New Zealand or?
No, she's from Canberra originally.
Okay,
but
cool.
she found herself dancing at the Royal Family Palace Dance Studio and under Paris Goebel and stuff in New Zealand.
In New Zealand. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
A lot of 3 of those dancers were from the Royal Family. But this is a cool project for New Zealand hip hop because they made fictional crews out of all of us.
Really?
So we all jammed for the movie with other people we usually verse. So it was really cool. And
so it was a good way to like bond.
It was really cool moment in New Zealand dance.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a bit. Did it showcase New Zealand dance, and all its diversity? My opinion, no. But it was a cool.
Very hard to tick all those boxes, man.
But in a commercial sense for a movie, extremely hard. So just shout out to everyone who did that. But
so what would you rate the movie out of 10? You can be honest, man. Doesn't matter.
I honestly reckon. Okay, so I'm gonna give it 2 different ratings as a movie.
I thought he was about to say 2 stars. I was like, you motherfucker.
As a movie for a family audience, I'm gonna give it a solid 6.5.
Okay, harsh critic. We like that.
Yeah, I'm a critic. Hard.
Good.
I'm a hater.
Yeah.
But in terms of the dance. Actually, you know what? I can't hate on it that much because it actually did put a lot of New Zealand dance on a platform. Like, there's honestly, I get some messages from some random countries sometimes, like K Crew, like yo, you're from K Crew, and my name was Andrew in the movie.
Nah,
which is the fucking randomest thing.
Guys, I got some ratings for you.
Oh,
okay. IMDb,
sure.
Cool whatevs.
Yeah.
5.5 out of 10.
Okay.
But the one that's impressed me is Rotten Tomatoes, 83%. And they're pretty harsh.
They're all from New Zealand.
Really?
83%.
All from New Zealand. They're all Josh's mates.
They're all outside, man.
No, they're all Rafa's mates.
Funny ass movie. Good, good. Just snapshot into New Zealand dance. But this is just crack up because
just so we're clear. To the producers of the movie, if you want to make the what's it called, part 2, he just gave it 6.5 out of 10. I'm just putting it out there.
Probably not gonna get me anymore.
Don't call Andrew.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Cool photo. Cool photo.
Man. Hey!
Whoop, whoop. The brothers.
We're looking pretty tropical.
Yes, we are. It's full moon party.
Yeah. Oh, man. What good timing that was there.
Yeah. So, Josh usually gives me a good sort of 6 to 8 hour heads up before he comes over from New Zealand. But yeah, very chaotic. But yeah, the boys come over to Australia quite often because of their gigs and whatever, and obviously come crash with the big brother, and obviously a big part of that is we go out clubbing and whatever, and
good
sometimes I leave to go home at 3:30, 4 in the morning, and the brothers stay. They don't want to come. They don't want to come. They don't want to come home. But anyway, there it is.
Good times, man.
Yeah, always good times, man. Thank you, my brother. You got a bit. When's that? That's like 3 years ago, something like that. Let's say, just put it out there.
28.
2 years ago.
Is that
2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years.
Ago.
Maybe 2018. Maybe.
Cool,
yeah.
That's awesome. Well, you finished, Paulie?
Yeah, but
what is it?
I've got something. I got a video that.
Okay.
I gotta ask which one was this one? Which brother?
Okay.
Just talk amongst yourselves while I'm.
Oh, sure. So, what'd you get up to today?
You put me in a situation.
Those ones, come on, brother.
Oh man, I think Paulie's gonna put you in an embarrassing. I think I know what he's doing. He probably wants to dig through the crates, because the boys have shown their heads a few times.
All right.
Okay.
What's going on here?
Which one is this one?
That's Andrew.
Oh,
that's Riley.
Is it? Yeah, that's right. Because you came together. You brought him with you that day.
Yeah, we.
So the brothers didn't do it for me.
You fucked up, Paulie.
He is one of my brothers.
Yeah.
Maybe not
but
my
he's
blood
not the
brothers.
brother. Yeah.
He's Riley Bourne is actually I can't say enough amazing things about that dude.
Yeah, you guys are blessed, man. You guys got a lot of friends and everything, and good, you can tell like attracts like, and I think you guys, from what I see from afar, but also from the few people that I've crossed paths with, when you guys come over, and you've come over many times, and you've brought people with you, Indigo, kind of thing, like nice people, like cool people, and I think also that's not only something that you've created through your own work and the energy and everything that you've invested, but also the dance world, as I was saying before, alluding to, I think dancers in general kind of have this nice aura about them. I'm sure there's some trash out there, some bitches and everything, but
as there is in kind of
in every circle, but full credit to you guys, man. And tell me something, brother, what about the future?
The future, you know, that's a really cool question to answer after such a strange year. And I say strange indeed. Because not in a negative sense, but in a sense that like it's been different.
It's a challenge.
And it's so cool that it's made me just look at like what is my life and what is the trajectory, what do I really want to do, and my whys. My whys has been a huge thing. So I guess just for me, I guess kind of career wise, I really like, I kind of set a glimpse of it before, like I really see myself like a conditioning center, trying to give more knowledge to dancers. I want to up my game as in the way I give back to dance and the creative industry as a whole, I guess, in that sense. So I really want to build my company up to kind of encompass events and take that theatre show across overseas and really define who we are as not just a dance company but an artistic act.
I think you guys are ready to take it to the next level, man. That's what I really hope to see from to really, I mean, not to, you can't downplay what you guys have been doing for the past fucking million years, but because you've been at it for a long time, because you started very young. But I think as with all these things in life, I think everything's led you to this point. And it's up to you guys or to you guys to really put your stamp on your craft and your world and really put something down and to show the world what it is that you guys are capable of on so many levels. And I remember having conversations with Andrew. He was telling me about some of the crazy stuff he was doing with like the tap mixed with the panels and stuff. And similar to kind of like a stomp kind of vibe or whatever. Yeah. I'd really like to see you guys more in that
transcending the word dance and becoming that act and
I mean, even though you guys are on stage, but take it to stage as in like theater type.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I mean, you guys have been killing the comp world and all of that, but the thing is, people like me and Paulie and whatever, we wouldn't see that. We're not from that world. I think it's very cliquey, right? Very like it's more for dancers' parents and dancers' friends.
Yeah.
Whereas, some of the things that I think you're going towards is favourable.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not like non-dancers will come to our show and be like, but I would love for people to come watch us and not just be like bombarded with like, oh my God, crazy art, but like leave there being like, I've never seen that before, or like, what the fuck did that mean? Or like give him something to think about, and hopefully, I think being a free thinker myself, hopefully incorporate some of that kind of avenue within that, as well as like being a coach and stuff. I love to kind of give those learning experiences as well, so it's like
the comp stuff, the way that I see it, and obviously I'm not an expert, but it feels and it looks like dancing for dancers and dancers judges are dancers.
Yeah, right? Exactly. So, it's been crafted for the judges.
Yeah, it's almost like jazz players play for themselves as well. That's why it's very full of solos and very, that's right. Self-indulgent. But yeah, man, I'd like to see you guys do a kick-ass thing that you could, sort of package up and video it up, and and I think from an outsider's look, 30-second look, it's more like you need like a story to thread through it, no?
Yeah,
to make
I think it's
more like a
there's
2 hour or an hour thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely like obviously the story is going to be a little bit more abstract. There will be a journey of sorts, and basically for what our perspective connection was based around, which is really relevant at the moment, the idea of just connection in general. Sure. Yeah. What that means to each other, and we had 6 choreographers on the project, and we all kind of just delved into our own idea within connection. Leighton, shout out to Leighton Rangi, his idea was the idea of how connection can be limited, and how you deal with that, how we as humans kind of deal with that. My one was more to do with the more and more we move closer to technology, the further we move away from our connection with nature. And I kind of started delving with like frequency and how both give off frequency and stuff, So yeah, I like the idea of kind of giving these perspectives. And there was a journey through there, and you probably have some kids that would go sit through there and would see this whole fairy tale story, and some people might go through there and they have no idea what the fuck happened.
But it looks good.
But at the end of the day, not knowing sometimes makes those other people think critically about something. So it's kind of there's definitely something tying it together, but I don't want it to be like, yay, it's been solved at the end. Like I really want to have some critical journey through there where people have critical thinking and they all come out with a different experience.
Man.
But with that will come some people are like, I don't know what the fuck.
There's plenty of people like me in the world to say shit like that. Like, no. But I think the more complex art or the higher arts they have, you're always going to have that depth and more sort of complex. People are going to walk away with whatever it is they're going to walk away from. But I think, man, it'll be super exciting to see and to watch and to watch unfold. And man, I hope that you guys can go down that path. And
it's definitely
and time will tell, man.
We're definitely I think another big thing for it too is like, we want to kind of be in that kind of avenue of higher up, but also we don't want to lose who we are as a very like a lot of our dancers come from the street, so we're gonna have some strong hip hop movement and elements in there. So
I can feel all of that. I mean, essentially, but bro, again, everything you guys have done up until now has led you to this moment where you put all those pieces of the puzzle together onto a stage, thread with some sort of a story and a presentation, and I'm sure it's going to be fucking amazing. And hopefully it'll go the way of like a Stomp or something where, you know, it's a worldwide smash hit.
I could see it in my visualizations, man.
Beautiful, bro. And again, full credit to your mama because she's the spark for all these things, man. Yeah, Jackie.
Love you, mama.
Shout out to Jackie. Shout out to all the family in New Zealand. And shout out to you, man. You're an inspiration for so many people. I'm not there to see it myself because I'm on this side of the Tasman, but I know I can see it. I can feel it, not only through social media, but the way that others speak about you and your aura and the feeling that you create when you walk in the room and the energy that you give others. I can only imagine what that's like in your essence, inside the studio, choreographing, teaching people. That must be an amazing thing. It'll probably never happen to me though, because obviously I'm I don't spend much time in a dance studio, but God bless you.
This guy's a Uruguayan champ. Shit, we got chopped with that fucking bomb earlier.
Boom. Yeah, don't tell anyone. But look, I haven't said that. Me getting back in the booth and putting out stuff. A few things we've got to talk about is how we bring some of these art forms together, because even the old man, he was like on one crazy night of lots of abuse, let's say, on my balcony in Coogee at about 5 something in the morning, right before the sun came up. He was telling me, "We got to choreograph this thing."
I remember when he was saying the choreograph.
We're going to choreograph this thing. We're going to put it together.
He was literally holding your head with both of his hands. Your head, even if it detached from your body, your head would have still been in the air.
Yeah, that's right. Shout out to old man Richard. And thank you, man. Thank you for being with us. Muchas gracias.
God. Such a pleasure. Such a pleasure to see this happen.
Man. Fucking awesome. Yeah,
expanding.
Man. Yeah,
what you're doing. You have so much to tell the world, man.
Thank you, my brother. God bless, man. And another word I got for you. Ayahuasca. I'm just going to leave it there.
Boom.
Boom.
I hear you.
God bless you, my brother. Love you, man.
Brother.
So much, man. Respect, mi hermano. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
And thank you also to our foundation sponsors, man. Q Corp Construction. Shout out to Open for Australia. Shout out also going to Crash Claim, meeting new friends by accident. And of course, our supporters taking care of our social media, Variant Collective in Melbourne. Shout out to Nelson. And everyone at home or wherever you might be tuning into the podcast, man, please share, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family. Talk about us, man, the way we would talk about you if you were doing something cool, something from the heart, the way that we are. We're trying anyway to get these awesome stories out like the one today. Thank you from myself, from Paulie as well. God bless, man. See you guys soon. Thank you so much for joining us. Muchas gracias. Boom. God bless, man. That was awesome, right?
That was so sick.
Yeah, man.
Expansion.